Welcome to Nimmin Live, the #1 place on the internet to learn about YouTube, network with other content creators, and have an awesome time doing it. My name is Nick, and today we are answering your YouTube questions. But first, if you are watching this on the replay, I do want to let you know we put timestamps down into the video description because we talk about all kinds of stuff related to YouTube on this stream. So because of that, feel free to skip around and see what's available down there, or just sit back and listen and learn a bunch of stuff about YouTube. And when I say we, I mean myself and my brother from the same mother, D. D, what is going on?
Howdy doody, my stuttering little brother.
Howdy doody, yep.
Howdy doing?
How's
everybody doing? I've had a great
Stuttering
week.
Nick, that's what they call me.
Stuttering Nick, that's what we call him.
Yep.
We call you a bunch of other things as well.
Yeah, I know, but I can't say those live.
That's right, that's right. Today we're answering YouTube questions. If you do have a question, head down to the description underneath this live stream. We have a form down there. You can drop your comment in the form, or you can go to
nicknimmin.com/ask.
nicknimmin.com/ask.
Yep.
And you can drop your question there. It is first come, first serve. And we usually get through all the questions.
Yeah.
So get down there, ask your questions now. Let's get going. Any YouTube news?
Yeah, we got a bunch of YouTube news. It's going to be a fun show today. I think it's either going to be a total disaster or it's going to be a lot of fun. So one of the two. That's how we're rolling today. So we have some news from YouTube. We've got some personal news. We've got some fun tools that we're actually going to be using on the stream here to give you some feedback on your YouTube channels. It's going to be all kinds of fun today, I think, D. So let's start with, on the front of the desk, we're gonna mention this a bunch of times throughout the stream today, but the new creator app just dropped. This is the app.
You're gonna break your order ring.
This
you know
is
that,
the
right?
No, this is the metal one. This is
you're gonna break this.
It's my watch. This is the app that I've been working on for a while. It's an app to help you manage your YouTube channel. Basically has all of the foundational stuff that you need. Gives you feedback on your thumbnails. Has a content calendar in there. Has a place where you can find an unlimited amount of video ideas. And it's not just throwing video ideas at you. It's actually sorted by all the different questions that people might ask and the different ways they might ask questions around the type of content that you make. And a bunch of other helpful things like upload checklist, recording checklist, and things like that. So try it out for yourself. If you have an iPhone, you can try it at the newcreator.app and then click the button there, or just go to newcreatorapp.com. I have it pinned at the top of the screen, and you can go and check that out. If you use it, I promise you're going to absolutely love it. So make sure that you do go and check that out. Now let's get into some YouTube news. When it comes to YouTube news, we have some stuff to talk about today. So the very first thing is live stream leaderboards. So if you're in the chat right now, you can see that there's this little purple, at least it's purple on my view. I don't know what it looks like in light mode, but there's this little purple icon next to some channel names. So what is happening here is YouTube has kind of gamified live chat now. So up at the very top of the screen on my view, and I'm not sure if this is available on the public view or not, but I have this little community button, and I think the same thing happens when you actually tap on one of those purple icons, like next to Chantel's name, for example. But what it does is it puts the purple icon next to the person's name that has the, let's just show them. Like here, I'm just going to share the screen here real quick.
So this is interesting.
So you can see what you see on the live streamer end.
So just to let you know how YouTube is rolling out here, I can't find your channel when I'm searching for it right now on YouTube.
Oh, that's great.
To actually go live too.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I love hearing that, D.
Yeah. Hey, Tube Spanner's in the house.
Tube Spanner, Danielle, what's going on?
Coming
we'll get
in
to
with
that here in a second.
Chat. Okay.
So when it comes to the community leaderboard, so on my view, this is what I see, right? And then right up here at the top, I can click on community up here, or I can click on this little crown icon. I'm not sure what it looks like from the viewer side, but if you click on one of these, then here we can see these different, rankings for everybody that's hanging out in the chat that's participating. So if we click on this little question mark icon, it explains what it is, and it says that it's a place for fans to stand out for the community. The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. And to get on the leaderboard, you have to collect experience points, or they're calling it XP. And here's how you get them. Simply send live chat messages, or send super chats and super stickers. Super simple, but basically it seems like the more you participate, like Wiggy here and Build with Mooney just jumped right to the top here. So did the Dr. Vibe show. All you gotta do is chat, hang out in the stream, participate, have a good time, and then you pop up on the leaderboard. So today, what I'm gonna do for the people that, for the top 3 people on the leaderboard that are not moderators, if you have an iPhone, I'm going to give you access whatever those 3 are that end, I'm going to give you a year free of my iPhone app that we're going to be talking about throughout the stream today. So that's a little bonus for participating and hanging out, there.
Wiggy is number 1.
Yeah, Wiggy's crushing it right now.
Good job, Wiggy. Proud of you, buddy.
That's cool though. It makes it,
right.
It makes it a little fun, right? Add
Your
some
parents
layers there.
didn't think you were going to amount to anything, and look at you now.
Yep.
You're
number one on the leaderboard.
You're number 1
right?
in the leaderboard in Nimmin Live. You did it.
Yeah,
you did it.
Did it. Nice work.
Yep.
Nice work.
That's right.
Okay, so
Firm
the next
handshakes all around, everybody. Applause. Wiggy, if you got an iPhone, let him know.
Yep. The next thing on the leaderboard, well, that's going to be at the end of the stream. So whoever's up there at the end of the stream.
Oh, well, that's not even fair. Wiggy,
well, because
sorry,
it's
buddy.
changing. It's changing. So
I'm
we'll see how it
sorry.
goes.
I just got your hopes up for nothing. Maybe your parents are right. I don't know.
We'll see. So the next thing when it comes to YouTube news is they also have, or they're testing live stream ads that are not as interruptive. So they're still interruptive, and I'm not going to turn these on here. But basically, how it goes is you have this live stream that we're participating in right now. So when they run these ads, what happens is it makes it to where there's the live stream on this side of the screen and then the ads on this side of the screen, and the live stream itself goes quiet and then it plays the ad audio. So because of that, you can still see what's going on. When it comes to the live stream, you just can't hear it. Now, I'm not sure how that works if you have captions turned on when it comes to that particular feature, if you'll still be able to read the captions or not, but it's a little bit less intrusive. So they're doing everything they can to show more ads, of course, and I think this is, kind of an interesting thing to try. We'll see how it turns out and see if it helps content creators make more money. Next thing on the list is voice replies. So when it comes to voice replies, I personally think this is going to be super cool. So when it comes to voice replies, they are currently testing this. They're expanding it to a bigger test group of Android creators. So this right now is only available on Android devices. And how it works is if you have this feature, and you should check if you have an Android phone, if you have this feature, you go into the YouTube app. You can only leave these voice messages on your own channel as comment replies, and you have a 30-second max duration. So basically, how it works is you will go to that comment, and instead of just typing out your comment, you're able to leave voice chats. Personally, I think this is cool. And the reason I think this is cool is because it's going to just add a little bit of intimacy to
I beg your pardon?
To the comment section, because in that case, what's going to happen is instead of just seeing text all the time, you get to hear all of the nuance of of what's behind that communication. So I think that's going to be cool.
If only YouTube had something like video replies with shorts where you could do exactly that, or if they only had something called stories that did exactly that but with video.
Yeah.
If only.
Well, this is audio only, so you don't have to put on your video shirt for this one.
You don't have to put on your video shirt.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can just wake up, be there, laying in bed, and answer comments, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I like it. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I lay in bed and answer comments with video comments with the shorts.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Turn off the camera.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think it's weird that they're like, oh, here now there's audio after getting rid of like stories.
Yeah.
Stories were
we'll see. It's an experiment, and not everybody does it. So
stories were my favorite all-time thing on YouTube.
Yeah.
And
Christina says, I would love video responses. You can already do that in YouTube Shorts,
That's
Christina.
what I'm talking about.
Yeah, in YouTube Shorts, you can already do that.
On an iPhone.
On an iPhone, yeah.
Yeah, you can do comment replies in a YouTube Short with an iPhone.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then next up, in terms of YouTube news, we have Google Lens for YouTube Shorts. So basically what this is, and they're rolling this out to everybody this week. So the voice reply thing, that's just in a test group, so we don't need to spend much time on that one until it comes out for everybody. But when it comes to the Google Lens for Shorts, this is rolling out to everyone this week. And when it comes to Google Lens for Shorts, how it works is if you're making a short, let's say the example they give is, let's say you are at a cool location of some kind, and you're like, hey, I wonder what this piece of art is about, or I wonder what this monument is about, or whatever. Then you can pause your YouTube short in that moment, you can circle it, and then you can ask questions about that thing, and then it will use AI to inform you about what it is that you're looking at. So if you're making a video, you don't have to leave the app, go to Google or go to ChatGPT or anything else that you're using, or even your notes. You can actually pull it up right there inside of the shorts to inform yourself on what it is that you are getting ready to talk about, which is pretty cool as well. And that's the news.
Doug is saying that they actually do have it on Android now.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Great.
I don't know if there are limits to that because I have a short talking about how to do this, and my comments are just flooded with people with Android saying they can't do it. So maybe it could be from a specific Android version up, maybe.
Could be. Could be.
Thanks, Doug.
Or does that happen during the before it was expanded out? Possibly.
No, it's still going. Like it's that
video.
video.
You're still getting those comments.
Okay. Yeah, that video's on.
All right.
That short is on fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
You got some super chats. You got to catch up.
Yep, I will. Let's go ahead and do that now. And just as a quick reminder, there is a form down in the description. Go ahead and get your questions down there. Or you can go to nickniman.com/ask, regardless of the platform that you're watching this on. And it will redirect you to that same exact form. So you can put your questions in there and we can get your questions answered on the stream today. So when it comes to the super chats that came in, the very first thing that I want to just mention really quick, and this is from a channel member with the channel name of Home Rapid Repair. And he says, Nick, my channel just hit 20,000 subscribers today. So high five and fist bump to you, dude. Awesome. Awesome that you are just crushing it on YouTube. Your channel's growing. You're getting more subscribers. You're making more money. You're doing the fun stuff, like you're going to, Vid Summit and all that stuff and hanging out and learning all the stuff there. Money. Yeah, like it's fantastic, man. Love seeing you go through this process. Growing the channel and just doing the thing as a content creator, man. Absolutely love it.
Love it.
Two Spanner. What's going on, Danielle? Thank you for the super chat. Says, we're going to make an app to help people who procrastinate too much. We haven't gotten around to it yet, though. Nice. That was almost, that's almost me. Almost, right? iPhone Chris, thanks for the super chat. Super appreciated. And Build Fix with Mooney. Giving a shout out to Wiggy there for the leaderboard. I'm just going to look on the leaderboard and see what's going on. Wiggy's still in first place.
Yeah.
At least per this view. We're going to see how it goes.
Wiggy has this in the bag.
Yeah.
Wiggy, listen, Wiggy, if you
I think so too. Yeah.
Wiggy, if you want to give me access to your channel, send me a DM and I'll help you chat and we'll get this thing.
Yeah.
Just give me full admin access.
Be in here doing it together.
Just give me full admin access to your channel so I can chat as you.
Nice.
And that's right. We can't be stopped. That's right, Wiggy.
Right. Vid Summit secured for me as well. Home Rapid Repair. Love seeing that you've already got it all locked down. Just in case you're not familiar with Vid Summit, everybody go to vidsummit.com. It's the best conference for content creators happening here in a few months, about 5 months away, I believe it is. So make sure you check that out as well. So, okay, we got through the super chats. We mentioned the app. Make sure that you do check out the app at the very top of the screen if you have an iPhone. And let's go ahead and get into some questions. What do you think? What do you think about that? And Christina Smallhorn says, hey, will you be bringing out a course in 2025? I want it. Dee and I are actually working on that right now as we speak. So we are putting that together.
Hey, really quick.
Finally, and I'm glad you mentioned that because, go ahead, Dee.
I was going to say, for those of you in the chat right now, how many people are watching right now?
Wiggy, no sleep till Brooklyn, says Malcolm Planet.
Okay,
that's what I'm talking about.
We have 100 people in here so far. Write in the chat, type in here, and tell us what you are struggling the most with on YouTube. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter how simple it may be or how complex it is. Write in the chat what you are having the most problems with because we're trying to make sure that we don't leave anything out.
Yep.
So write it in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Right. So the very first question
My
is... Say what?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. So the Video Man says we need a Vid Summit not in the U.S. We travel there from Thailand. So I go literally from the other side of the planet to go there. So yeah, like it's that good, right? So definitely, even if you're not in the States, definitely add it to your list if you can. So the very first question is from Explore Norway. They upload 1 time per week or more. They've been on YouTube for a year or more. They do travel advice about the area of Norway. And one quick thing that they mentioned is that they've had a 500% growth in revenue compared to last year's May, which is fantastic, by the way. But they said, I bought Dara's book, the YouTube Formula, and I have a question about retention rule, 50% to 30% of my videos. I reach the 50% mark usually quite quickly. That's fantastic. But by the end of the video, I still have more than 30% of the viewers still watching. Is this good or bad? This is good. So basically, the higher the complete rate of your video, it's telling YouTube that those people are really engaged. And if you have somebody completing your videos, then as long as they're interacting with that content, then YouTube's going to say these people are really enjoying this. So let's try to recommend some more of the content to them. Now, some limitations that you might have specifically is because of the type of content that you're making, to where you're going to have like a kind of like a cap in terms of when that's getting recommended to people in terms of who is a good candidate for it. So it's not necessarily like general audience content, like entertainment content. However, 30% complete rate is good, but of course you always want to keep trying to, improve those things as much as you can. And it also, when it comes to the complete rate on a video, as I'm sure you already know, if you have a shorter video, it's going to be easier than, if you have a longer video and all that stuff. Like, a 30% on a 30-minute video is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. 30% on a 10-minute video is like good. 30% on a 5-minute video, like, okay, like now, you're starting to get to things that are just a little bit, a little bit easier to hit, so to speak there.
No, we have some great
David Matney,
great
what's going on?
inputs.
Great geology dude.
Great input in here. People just saying things that they're struggling with.
Yeah, we can watch it on the replay and take notes on it.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Just seeing everybody's perspective and the things that where they're at in their journey, and then the hurdles that they're getting. Yeah, keep them coming. Keep them coming. Whatever you're stuck with, write it out.
Yep. Hey, Grayson Farrell, just as a quick heads up, this is not a sub for sub or a place to come and ask for subscribers. This is a place to learn how to get subscribers naturally on YouTube. So mods, you can leave that. Don't delete that. But just for Grayson Farrell there, just a heads up, this is where you learn how to do things that help you do better on YouTube, and not a place to come and ask for subscribers. But one thing that I can tell you is if you do have questions about YouTube, we have a forum that's down in the description where you can get your questions answered for free here on the stream today. All you have to do is go down into the description, or if you're watching this somewhere else, just go to nickniman.com/ask and get your question in the forum, and we can get it answered for you in the stream today. All right, next up on the list here, we've got Build and Fix with Mooney. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. The question is, he does DIY content, by the way. And the question is, I need help with looking at my analytics. I've never really took a deep dive. Can you show me how to take my data and understand it better to make better videos my viewers will enjoy? I've been taking topics that I think will work based on views with similar topics. And that has been pretty good until right now. My last long form videos are underperforming compared to my entire channel. Just when you think you have stuff figured out, any advice would be grateful. So the first thing that I recommend is Roberto Blake has a live stream that he did. It's a really long one, but you might want to listen to it in the background and just kind of, either watch the whole thing or just listen in the background. And then when he starts talking about things that you're like, oh yeah, this is something I know I need to work on or whatever, or pay attention to, then in that case, go into those particular areas and just kind of tune into those parts. But when it comes to analytics, it is complicated. It can be intimidating when you first open up like advanced mode analytics. Right now, the things that I recommend that you focus on, like you can get information from everything that you look at there, but right now look at your audience retention reports, because that's going to show you exactly how people are responding to your content. Look at your, compared to other videos in your audience retention reports, look at your click-through rate on the different traffic sources. And then from there, you can, pull out different information based on what you're seeing there. So for example, if you notice that, and Monique says Roberto is awesome, he is indeed. But if you are noticing that you're not getting a lot of impressions on home pages and your click-through rate is still low, then in that particular case, then you need that you need to either work on topics that are more compelling for the people that you're trying to reach or that YouTube's showing your content to. That means that you also might need to work on how your thumbnails are grabbing people's attention. Maybe you need to work on, compelling titles, that kind of stuff. If you find that when people are first entering your videos and they're abandoning the video quickly, then in that particular case, you of course want to make sure that you are, paying attention to that. So I have a video specifically for you when it comes to audience retention about how to start videos. So just kind of watch that video. It was 2 videos ago, I believe. Watch that video, and it's going to just help you, get an idea of kind of what to do there, maybe some things to experiment with, that kind of stuff when it comes to the beginning part of your video, if you're having, trouble there. And then if you're having trouble with the click-through rate, I have a video that I published a few months ago. It's something like, how to grow your small channel in 2025 or something like that. Whoa. And on that particular one, it's a long video, but it's very deep compared to some of the other videos that I put out in terms of the information that's available in there. So I recommend that you check that out as well when solving those problems. But when it comes to analytics, it is hey, Doug just dropped Roberto's analytic deep dive video in there, and that'll help get you covered on that. I need to make a video on that, and I keep saying like, okay, in my brain, I'm like, yeah, you know what, I need to make that video, and I just never do.
Get on it.
But yeah, I need to make that video. Maybe we can put that in tuber school. Maybe. Yep. So next up, we've got The Blind Bard. Been on YouTube for less than a year. And just as a heads up, just one more time, if you do have any questions about anything it is that you're doing on YouTube, there is a forum. I'll just drop it into the chat right now to make it easy. because that's how we are rolling today. So make sure you go ahead and put your question in the form if you do have a question. But they do entertainment content. And the question is, I'm preparing for my first live stream of Streamlabs. How far in advance should I be scheduling them on YouTube? So if you have an active channel, you can technically you can just go live. But if your channel isn't really active, then in that case, I would schedule it, 24 hours in advance should be enough for people to know that you're getting ready to stream. You can do it further. So like, let's say, for example, you don't, publish that much at all on your channel or something like that. Then in that case, you can publish it more or longer to where it's not going to necessarily, impact anything else that's happening on the channel in terms of, being recommended to people over a video or something like that. Next up on the list here, we've got Winning with Wiggy. Love it.
Wiggy.
Yep. Been on YouTube for a year or more. They do tutorials, gameplay, and review content. The goal of the channel is to teach others. And the question is, in my research to get better get my videos out there and finding the right audience, I've come across some tips which I'm not sure are useful or not. First tip is that you should be naming your upload video file appropriately, as it helps YouTube understand your video. For example, don't name it Video 14 Final MP4. Instead, name it based on the topic. So that is a myth on YouTube.
That's an old.
Yeah, so that's a myth on YouTube. Even YouTube's creator liaison, Renee Ritchie, he made a video. I think it's either on the YouTube Liaison channel or it's on the Creator Insiders channel. But that particular video, he's actually talking to the guy that actually runs the recommendation system on YouTube. And one of the things that he mentioned is that they don't consider the file name at all. And also when it comes to YouTube search, like your file name, it all gets changed inside of the actual code itself. So it's there on the video watch page so that you can make that reference like, hey, this is the video file, so in case you need it for something. But when it comes to the code itself and you go and you like view source and you look at the code, you won't find that video file name anywhere in that code. And when it comes to search, like that's the stuff that actually gets crawled. It's not, what you see on the inside of your YouTube channel. But that has been debunked a long time ago. Yeah. So I wouldn't put any energy towards that particular thing. And before I answer your second question, I want to say Brian G. Johnson in the house.
Brian G. Johnson. G
Johnson
stands for Guatemalan gangster.
Right. Brian.
Cheers,
Brian,
buddy.
Guatemalan gangster Johnson. Yeah. So he is the author of Tube Ritual. Volume 1 helps you go from 0 to 5,000 subscribers and more because it teaches you all the best practices about YouTube. Just go to Amazon. You can check that out. But Brian, my man, hope that you are doing fantastic. You and Maria, hope you guys are both doing great.
We were talking about you over dinner tonight.
Yep. Yeah, we talk about you a lot. Have you noticed that? We're like Brian's always in our mind. We he's living rent free in our brains.
So they say rent free. Yep. Rent free, baby.
Yep.
Brian G. Johnson, hashtag rent free.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
So it was a good talk. We were talking about your latest video and your thumbnail and the packaging, and we liked it. Yeah.
Yep. So the next part of this question is for the second tip, says I've been seeing a lot is that you should be uploading your video and leaving it unpublished for 24 to 48 hours prior to making it public. This will give time for YouTube to understand your video more and push it to the right people. Is there any truth? So no. So this has also been mentioned by YouTube's creator liaison in this chat to where he mentioned that this all happens basically like as you're uploading the video. So you don't have to let it rest for any amount of time or anything like that.
You can check it for copyright issues while it's up there.
Right, you can do all of that. Yeah. So like when it comes to the, uploading it as unlisted and then, publishing it later, the real place to think about that is like, let's say that you are using like rev.com to add captions to your videos. Then in that particular case, like, maybe you got to put it up there and then maybe it might take them a little bit of time to get the human captions finished. And because of that, you're just going to upload it ahead of time so that they can do what they need to do before you publish it. If you need to do something like that, or you're waiting for your thumbnail designer to, get thumbnails to you, or you're, trying to do some other maintenance related things, you can just go ahead and put your video up there, and then you can publish it later. But the result isn't going to matter in terms of if you upload a video and you prepare it completely within 10 minutes of being uploaded, as long as you have the icons that say, like 4K and SD and HD, as long as you have all of those icons taken care of, then YouTube has processed everything. That's what that tells you. And in the process of all of those things happening, then YouTube is already, done what it needs to do, and it's gathered the information that it needs for your video. And then when you publish it, then it's going to show your video to people. And as it's showing your video to people based on how people respond to it, that's the only thing that is going to make a difference when it comes to how your videos perform, regardless of, you know, if you waited 48 hours or 24 hours or 10 minutes after your video has completed. The only thing that's going to matter after that point is how people respond to the content itself. Next up. Next question. And hey, just a quick reminder in case you are joining the stream, we're talking about everything related to YouTube. So if you are a content creator, you are in the right place. And we have a form that is down in the video description. I pasted it a little bit ago in the chat. But if you have a question that you want answered on the stream today, you can just go to nickniman.com/ask, or you can just hit the description and you will find the form down there near the top of the video description. And you can put your question in there, and then it's going to show up in the form, and we are answering them in the order that they come in. Also, you're going to notice a pinned comment at the very top of the screen. I just put out an app for content creators. Has a content calendar in it, has a tool to where you can upload your thumbnails into it, and it gives you a report of all the different things that you can do to make your thumbnail better. Helps you predict the niche of people that might be interacting with that content. Helps you identify the main subjects that stand out in your thumbnail, things like that. Really helpful tool. That was actually the first bit of feedback that I got on it when I published it, or when I spread the word on Twitter yesterday. I was talking to somebody about it in DMs. They're like, man, that thumbnail tool is awesome. So it has that. It has a place to collect, store, and organize all of your video ideas for all the different content types. It has a content calendar in there, checklists, a place to find an endless amount of video ideas, all the stuff that you need as a content creator. It's there. And I'm on a mission to make this the best app for content creators. So as part of being a user of that, there's a button in there to where you can submit feedback. And if you have ideas for features, anything like that you want me to add, I'm all ears. And I'm happy to consider any features that you want added to it. Not saying that I'm definitely going to put them in, but I might. So, I'm trying to make it as good as I possibly can for you guys. So you can check that out at newcreatorapp.com. And that's going to redirect you right to the Apple Store where you can do it. And it has iCloud Sync as well, to where it's going to connect.
Go to
yeah, you can go to here to see a little bit more about it as well. And it also syncs up with like if you're on an iPhone and you have an iPad or a few iPads or whatever, then it syncs up across everything. So you can keep everything just organized and tight, which is great. All right, next up on the list, we've got Learn Spanish World. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do educational content. Goal is to quit their job and be a full-time creator. And the question is, my channel's revenue has dropped by almost 50%. Which I believe is partly due to my reduced upload frequency because of work commitments. However, I recently heard that many language channels have experienced a similar decline since February this year. Do you have any insights on this trend, and what would be the best way for me to get back to where I once was? Thanks so much for your time. So when it comes to that, one thing that I would do just to see is I would go to your YouTube channel, because you've been on YouTube for a while. Go to your advanced analytics, look at your revenue, and then scale it out over time. And when you scale it out over time, that's going to see if this is like a regular dip that happens every year, which it may or may not be. I'm just giving you some ways to kind of look into this. In addition to that, go to Google Trends and look for learning Spanish and all the different ways that people might be looking for information about learning Spanish, in your case specifically. And as a part of that, make sure that you spread the date range out there too, so you can see like a few years, and then also look for ups and downs related to people's interests, because it might be something seasonal that happens. It's kind of normal when it comes to YouTube. It could also be that right now, for the people that are putting ads in front of that type of content, maybe inventory is low, or that kind of stuff. So in terms of me being aware of other people having that same problem, right now, no, I'm not. But those are some ways that you can kind of look into it to see if this is something that's just kind of, not necessarily something you're doing, but something that could just be happening, within your niche. Next up, we got Jonathan Sturgill Music. What's up, Jonathan? Hope you're doing great. Jonathan. Uploads every other day. That's some serious commitment right there.
That's a grind.
Yep. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, please look at my channel and evaluate my new thumbnails and channel. I thought you would never ask.
Wow.
You would never ask. I've been waiting for that. What were you saying?
All right. I was going to say, That's perfect. That's what you've been waiting for.
Yep, thought you would never ask.
That's
so here
right.
we go.
We're gonna we're gonna do a couple of channel reviews today. We haven't we don't do this much.
So let me go ahead and get the channel pulled up, D.
Thanks, Mooney. Appreciate it.
All right. So here we go.
Put it up when you're ready.
This one down. Boink.
Take off the mobile.
And then we are going to put this one up. Now watch, you know it's going to break right now.
Of course, of course it's going to break.
Okay, so here we go.
Expect nothing less.
All right.
Let's go.
So first is, you can see here, and we're just going to look at a handful of things. So first, you can see here, when it comes to a TV, yeah, this is kind of, you do have it fully filled out for a TV. For mobile, you have this sorted, right? When it comes to your channel art, you can see how it's isolated. This down here, this is what's viewable on a mobile device, so you're good there. But a place that you definitely need to work on this, and look, this particular thing isn't going to, you know, move the needle on your channel. I just want to make sure to make that disclaimer. This is just like a little fine-tuning thing so that when people run across your content, it just makes you, you know, look better and kind of informs them maybe on what it is that you're doing. But definitely make sure that you are filling this out for the imagery. You might be uploading all this stuff on a mobile, but make sure that you are looking at this imagery and that you're doing it in a way that also looks good on desktop.
Yeah, there's a template that you can search for on the internet and build on top of it so you can be compatible with all devices.
Next, okay, so you don't have a lot of content on here yet. Okay, so this is all good. So basically, if we look at your thumbnails, a couple things that I want you to think about. So if, and this is a fun thing that I like to recommend to people, but if you were looking at your videos without titles on them, to where the only thing that you had the opportunity to capture somebody's attention with, would these thumbnails at a glance help people know without a shadow of the doubt that this had something to do with music, right? And if we look right here, the focus here, even though you're in there, and if somebody does, you know, kind of keep looking around the thumbnail, then they can get an idea that it's about music. But because you have all of this other imagery here in the background, it does kind of distract from the fact that you are, you know, sitting here playing music. So because of that, I would definitely make sure that you are just focusing a little bit more on the imagery of, you know, you playing the instrument, because it looks like here, this is all where you're doing your covers. And I saw your note about you've separated the channels, which is good. But basically, when you are doing this sort of thing, the whole goal with the thumbnail is to make it to where if somebody sees this on their homepage, to where at a glance, it's crystal clear that this has something to do with music in some way. So this one I think is probably the you know, like a better fit out of these. But I would use less distracting imagery in the background. And let's see here. There we go. I would use less distracting imagery here in the backgrounds, and focus more on the actual, you know, the actual music related imagery itself. Yeah. Any additional thoughts there, D? Because I know you listen to a lot of music on YouTube too.
Yeah, I would just think of it as, because you are putting yourself in there playing a guitar, and that's an identifier, right? Someone's going, oh, this guy's playing guitar. Yeah. But you're really small in the thumbnail. Yeah. So to piggyback on what Nick was saying, you know, just imagine I'm on my phone, I'm just scrolling through YouTube, and YouTube just wants to recommend one of your videos to me because I do listen to a lot of music. If I can't identify that that is a music video within a split second, I'm probably going to keep scrolling. So just think about the focus of your thumbnail. The imagery is cool that you're using. It's just that the focus should probably be you or the guitar. Something to where I don't even have to think about it. Why is there horses in there? Why, oh, there's a guy playing guitar. My brain's not going to think like that when I'm scrolling through YouTube at like 3 in the morning and I'm just doom scrolling, right? You want something sharp, so somebody goes, oh, guitar player. Wonder what he's doing. That guy looks interesting.
Yeah. So yeah.
Enlarge yourself.
Yeah, even little things too, like for example, in this particular one, like, you know, one thing that you also might be able to do is, like Dee was saying, if you make yourself bigger here, then you can also do like little subtle things, like, you know, have it to where your focus is on here and then kind of dim the stuff in the background a little bit, stuff like that. But the goal is to just make it to where as soon as this shows up, your eye just goes directly to you, right? To make it clear that you are playing an instrument.
And you can probably achieve that just by scale, just by increasing the size of you.
Yeah.
So you were the first thing that people notice.
And let's see what else. Yeah, you're fully filling out your descriptions, all that stuff, so it's good.
Like,
yeah,
here,
so,
scroll down for 1
go
second.
ahead.
Like, do you see? Nope. I want to see him. Do you see? Even there, you're sitting down. You're sitting down and you're taking up more space in that corner. So kind of think of the same idea for your thumbnails. Instead of standing up on your thumbnails where you can see all of your legs and all that, which really isn't that important, think of it like this, right? You're taking up a significant portion of the video. I would even make yourself larger for the thumbnails. Same principle, but I would make yourself probably like 20 or 25% even larger than this in your thumbnails.
Yeah.
And just, sit down. Cut yourself out the way you're sitting like this. You're going to take up more space than trying to fit in while you're standing.
Yep. 100%.
Yeah.
Or keeping it 100, I think is what the kids say.
Keeping it 100. That's right.
All right.
What
Moving
else?
on.
Okay.
So next up, we've got
10 going in the kitchen. She's been a member for 10 months, and she says,
nice.
almost 1 year membership. I learned a lot even before becoming a member, so thank you both.
My pleasure. Glad that you are enjoying the content. Thank you for your support as a member as well. Helps us keep this whole train rolling. So thank you. So next up is Mazzy Artistry. They upload when they have time. And the goal of the channel is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, say, hey, Nimmin Bros, my last couple of videos have been just a still image sticking around for a while until the next image comes on screen when talking about stuff. And I've noticed my videos are more of audiobooks than they are videos. How can I balance or do both audio and video without overworking myself, which is the main reason why it feels like that? Okay, so I'm going to be honest with you. So sometimes things like that work, right? Sometimes that type of thing is perfectly okay, and if it's in front of the right audience, they will respond well to it. However, remember that YouTube is a video-first platform, and because of that, when people click on videos, they often expect to see video content happening, not just see, still images. Like people, even though, sometimes it works, people aren't necessarily on YouTube looking to watch like slideshows and stuff, right? If you had actual like B-roll and, moving graphics and things like that, you're kind of creating this experience, which requires more work. But if you were doing something like that, it's a little bit different because then you're kind of in a weird way creating like animations of sorts. So you see, like documentary channels, for example, they'll take like a single image and then they'll use what's called the Ken Burns effect, where they'll be like zooming in on things and zooming out on things or slowly panning across it. But they're changing images, at a decent pace to follow along with the story and things like that. And they can do well doing that. But if you just have just a straight static image, I'm hovering over one of your videos right now, and it's definitely not changing much. So if you have a straight static image like that, I think that you're really just kind of working against yourself. And like, for example, right here, 3, 4, yeah, like one thing when it comes to YouTube is, we often get out of it what we put into it. And when the goal is to avoid work, then that often gets reflected in how people respond to the content. Again, sometimes it works, but in a lot of cases, like you gotta put in the work, you gotta do the thing, you gotta figure out what makes good content for the people that you're trying to reach. So one thing that I recommend from looking at your latest video here, I explained my original superhero team video. Like, this is a 20-minute video. So if you were to reduce this video to, say, 10 minutes and then spend that time that you would spend on the last 10 minutes to put some extra effort into that 10 minutes and make that 10 minutes even better, then you might end up getting a better result from what it is that you're doing. Maybe not, but that would be the step one. So if you're like, hey, I've got a limited amount of time, so I can only put in X amount of work, and that's kind of the limitation, then in that case, if you're making 20-minute videos, then I would try cutting those down a little bit and making it like the best 10 minutes you possibly can, and just see if people respond to that, any better. So I would experiment with that sort of thing versus trying to figure out how you can do less. Because yeah, I mean, when you figure out ways to do things to where you can do less, then you can spend more time on other things. But first, you gotta get the thing working for you on your behalf first, and then that kind of opens you up to be able to kind of scale back if you have to. Your ID? D's getting ganged up on by a gang of mosquitoes over there. Looks like. So next up, We have someone here that says they do not have a channel yet. They're getting ready to start their channel. They are wanting to do pet products and advice. The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, could you give me best practices on how a business can use YouTube to drive traffic to their local business? I don't want to make commercials for my business on the channel. I want to deliver value so people can binge watch my videos. I would like to appeal to the widest audience possible, but also attract people in my service area. So yes, absolutely. So when it comes to YouTube, especially if you're doing pet products and advice, make the entire channel about how people can make their, like have better experiences with their pets, how to take care of their pets, how to clean their pets, how to feed their pets, like all of those things related to pets. And that's a great way to solve the problem, or not solve the problem, but to do what it is that you're trying to do. Now, once you're in that process and you're making content that is, helping people take better care of their pets, and they start to enjoy your content, and they're like, wow, I'm learning a lot here, and they're subscribing, they're coming back and watching videos back to back, things like that. Then in that particular case, as your channel starts picking up momentum, you can get a lot of strength when it comes to search. So you can also do well in search, without having like an authority channel or anything like that, just with a good video. But when it comes to using it for business, I would balance your content strategy out to where you're going to make some content that is for recommendations. And this is going to be your main channel, right? I'm going to give you two approaches here. So the first one is for building the brand itself. So here we have a main channel. This is where we're helping people in all different ways with our pets. We mention our products from time to time or in every single video in a organic way. But this channel right here is the brand channel, and we're using this for the sake of building this brand for pet lovers or pet owners. Then, as you're doing that, then the next thing that you can consider is having another channel that would be a local channel. And with that channel, you specifically target search. And you optimize all of your videos topically for search. You also optimize your videos in terms of making sure that you have keywords and keyword phrases that people are actively looking for in your area specifically when it comes to pets and pet care and all of those, things related to it. And you have that channel that is just targeting your local area, but it's all search-based content. And the play there is if somebody is looking for information on pets in your area and they are searching for it on YouTube, they're going to run into your local thing there. If they're looking for information on your company as a whole, they're going to run into the brand channel. They're going to see all the value that you provide there. And if they are looking on Google, YouTube videos show up in Google. And since YouTube videos show up in Google, that gives you the opportunity to also be able to have videos show up in Google search as well when people are looking for things in your particular area. And now with AI, you can also have your videos get recommended in ChatGPT, and you can also have your videos show up in other textual search engines as well, like the lower used ones like Bing and Yahoo and stuff like that. So when it comes to business, when it comes to YouTube, it's amazing and it can drive a lot of business. But you can take those particular approaches. Now, other things you can do is you can focus everything on the brand, and then that's going to turn into its own thing as long as you do it right. And if that turns into its own thing, then people in your area are going to end up finding that as well. And then you can also do fun things to where as you start growing that YouTube channel and you're building the brand on YouTube, to where you can try to get on news and things like that in your area about your YouTube channel and how you're adding value to the community and the world about of pet lovers through your YouTube channel and that kind of stuff. So I would take that kind of approach when it comes to, like, you're starting at zero. So I would consider both of those. But yeah, if it was me and I had a pet company in the United States or wherever it is that you're at, and people are actively looking for solutions around that, I would make a search targeted video on one channel for every one of those things people are looking for, so that even though I might not land all of them, I'm going to land some of them, and then that will lead people into me. And then I would build the brand channel as well, so that I can also offer, other products and services through the internet, where you get the advantage of scale, right? Because where you're at locally, you got to wait for people to come into your shop. You have to, wait for people to search for you, things like that. But when it comes to doing things on the internet, it's a totally different game, because you can reach people at scale here. And since you can reach people at scale, it takes your business, from like we're just operating here to we're operating here, and we also have these additional products that we can provide either nationwide or worldwide through the content. Tan going in the kitchen, thanks for super chat, appreciate it. So really quick, I'm going to check on the leaderboard and kind of see where we're at here on the leaderboard. I'm just kind of curious. So it looks like Wiggy's still in first place there. D. Yep. Good. So yeah, in case you didn't know this, in case you missed this part of the stream, so YouTube's added this leaderboard thing. So you'll see like next to Learn Spanish World right here, like he has this little 3 next to his name here. So right now he's number 3 on the leaderboard. So when you are engaging in chat and you're talking in chat, it gives you a leaderboard or adds you to the leaderboard. And the people that are interacting the most, then they get these 1, 2, and 3 positions. And at the end of the stream, I'm giving one person, whoever's actually I'll give them to all 3. The top 3 people, I'm giving them a year access to my app that I just published for content creators. You can find out more information about that app at the very top of the screen. Hidden Jackpot says I need to get used to this leaderboard. Yeah, it's interesting. I think it's cool, right? Because it kind of gamifies the whole thing, which I think is fun and kind of needed, right? Yeah. So K&J Lumber says who's number 1? Wiggy right now still is in that number 1 spot. All right. So next up here, we've got, let's see here. We did the pet products. So next up, we did Kinimation. Kinimation uploads when they have time. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do animation content. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time creator. And the question is how to boost subscribers. So when it comes to getting more subscribers on your YouTube channel, it's really going to come down to the value that you are offering to people. So sometimes even with that, if you're not asking people to subscribe and, things like that, it can still be challenging to get people to, subscribe to channels. Like they have to really like what it is that you're doing. So because of that, just focus as much as you possibly can on making sure that you are, just doing the best possible content that you can for the people that are interacting with your content, so that it makes people want to subscribe. And then from there, just kind of rinse and repeat, keep doing that whole thing. And people will end up subscribing to the YouTube channel. Once you get people subscribing, on a regular basis, then, there are things that you can do, like ways that you can ask people to subscribe and things like that in your videos that are non-interruptive, that just remind people to subscribe. You can do that sort of thing. But right now, just focus on, because right now I'm looking at your view counts and all that. And right now, just focus all of your efforts right now on learning how to come up with good topics for videos that the people that you're trying to reach are interested in. Making thumbnails that help them connect with that content, and then making titles that are compelling to them that make them want to click. And Jerry Popandry says some niches are easier to get subscribers. My friend just launched a yogurt channel 8 weeks ago and coasted last 25,000 subscribers. Yeah, so with that person, just to say it, like sometimes people also come on and they're just more, like just naturally, they kind of know what to do and how to talk to the camera and, those types of things. So they probably didn't coast. They might, maybe they did, but in terms of like them, they just might have just a better, just kind of natural, way that they do it. Shark Scrapper says just download the app, feedback to follow after I play with it some. Appreciate it, Shark Scrapper. Hope that you absolutely love it. Oh, she's also a photographer. All right. So she gets how to kind of make things look good and all that. Nice. All right. So next up, we've got, we did Kinimation. So now we've got Life with Ricky. Life with Ricky's been on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do family comedy skits. That's cool. I enjoy like skit type content. I think it's fun. Stormy Rail Productions says, will the app be coming out for Android also? As long as I get good feedback, which I think that I will, because I'm just going to keep working on it until people, love it as much as humanly possible. So once I, start getting some traction on the iPhone one, and, I just confirm that people are getting the value out of it that I intend. And, based on feedback that I get, I work on some additional features that people request and things like that. Once I get it to where I'm like, okay, this is, it's ready for Android, then I'll make the Android version. Like I'm doing all this stuff myself. I'm not hiring developers for it or anything like that. So making like a whole other app that does all the same things, like this last one took me like, I don't know, probably 5 or 6 months to make. So because of that, I have to get it to a certain point first, and then I'll do the Android version. Wages World, welcome to the Niminati when you get a chance. If you are on Facebook and have interest in joining the Facebook group, go to niminvip.com. That's going to redirect you to the members only area there. You can ask questions, anything like that in that group. And when you get to that page, make sure you fill out all the information on the way in, and we will get you into that group, once the stream is over. And we also have a Discord as well. So if you are into Discord, then in that case, just make sure you're connected to Discord with the account that you are a channel member, and that's going to give you access to our members-only Discord as well. Now, the best thing for that, in my opinion, is that there's like isolated, threaded questions. So like if you have a question, you can drop it into that area, and then, we can actually have a conversation there, and other people come into the conversation, all of that, based around the particular question that you have, instead of it just kind of getting lost and stuff, like it does on Facebook sometimes. Lego Tour says is the new app free. It has a 7-day free trial, and then after that, it is paid. I do have a free app called Creator Keyboard that you can use as well. Helps you manage your comments, like repetitive, stuff that you say a lot. It helps manage that. You can get that one for free. I think I've got links to that down in the description. But okay, so the Family Skit channel, the question is, will YouTube eventually be able to figure out that my channel appeals to younger people, even though my audience statistics are 25 to 45-year-olds? It's most likely kids watching from their parents' accounts, but must be confusing for the algorithm. So the best thing that you can do, and I'm just going to look and see what it is that you're doing here real quick. The best thing that you can do is make sure that if it is for younger people, that you're setting everything up in a way that it looks like it's for younger people. Right. So, for example, you have like, oh, you've only got 2 videos on the channel. Okay. So yeah, so keep going. But from the outside, though, it's not clear here that this is targeted towards younger people. So one thing that you might want to do is, these are colorful and, things like that. But, I would definitely look at other channels that are targeted towards kids and just kind of look at how they're theming their thumbnails and how it's pretty clear from the outside that it is for kids. And right here, you're doing it in the titles where you're like mom and dad, funny family videos, funny videos for kids. So you're on the way there in terms of being clear there. So hopefully that's going to be enough. But one thing that I do want to mention to you, though, is you are uploading these videos that are 9 and 10 minutes long that are essentially vertical content. I wouldn't do that in the landscape side of YouTube. Instead, I would make standard landscape videos for that, and then make shorter videos like you're currently doing for YouTube Shorts. Make shorter videos there for them, and also, man, like when it comes to, I'm not sure how you're communicating in here, but like when I'm looking at your shorts right now, like if I saw this on a homepage, I might click into this, and I'm not a kid, right? Like it's not crystal clear that this is for kids from the outside, even in your shorts thumbnails. So I would definitely try to work on that side of things. And other things, you have like naming your dog Roblox, leaving the toilet seat up, and you're using like hashtag shorts.
Are you supposed to be showing this?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying it. But you're using like hashtag shorts. So instead of taking up that space for hashtag shorts, because you don't have to do that anymore, maybe also put, for kids or something like that on there, and make sure in your upload settings that you have it marked for kids there. Because if this is for kids, then in that case, they have a setting inside of your YouTube channel when you're uploading videos where you can tell them this is for kids, right? So make it clear from the outside, make sure that you mark that when you are uploading your videos, and then that should help you kind of fine tune things for YouTube. Let's see here. So next up, we've got, they still getting you, D?
I was fine until I sat down again.
Huh. Yeah, D's getting devoured over there. Like he's missing an arm now. Yeah, they're eating away at him. All right. So next up.
Help.
Says there's a way to upload long form videos in vertical form. Yeah, you just make them longer than 3 minutes. Absolutely. But what I'm saying is, if you're uploading, regular content, you should upload. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but I'm just saying, when people are watching your content, most people are expecting when they go into a video for it to be landscape. And if they're watching it on a TV or they're watching it on a computer, you might cause people to back out of that video. So the move there would be to, and I'm replying to Malcolm Planet here. The move there would be to go into your analytics and see where people are watching the most. And if you find that it's only on mobile devices or like is like very heavily weighted towards mobile devices, then you're okay sacrificing, the other, device types. Then in that case, by all means, you can do it vertical. But if you are, like most channels where, people are watching from all different devices when it comes to the long form content, making them landscape makes the content more, I don't know if appropriate's the right word, but it kind of meets expectations better when it comes to what people expect. Shark Trapper says they're attacking Dean, not Nick. Yeah, his blood is much sweeter than mine. Yeah, I think it's what it is. Yeah.
Or you don't have any blood.
Could be it. That's my vampire coming through.
Your Lenny Kravitz coming out. Dude, did you see?
Is he a vampire? I didn't know that.
Have you seen this guy?
Of course I've seen Lenny Kravitz, but I haven't seen him recently. No.
So he just turned 61 years old. And like the latest picture of him was like on stage with his shirt off. Dude is just like completely ripped. Body of like a 20-year-old dude who's like at the gym all the time. I mean, obviously he dyes his hair, but it's well done. Like he's not aging.
Nice.
He's like Lestat from Interview with the Vampire.
Nice.
He's not aging.
Oh, love it.
Yeah.
So next up, we've got Deepak Gorilla. Does daily content, gaming content. The goal is to quit their job and be a full-time content creator. And
Wiggy's tapping out.
Oh, come on.
Wiggy's going to lose.
Chantel's now in the number 1 spot. Wiggy's in number 2. But she's barely up there, though.
Wiggy's tapping out. So if this were a contest, we're like, today I'm going to give a Lamborghini to the last person touching the Lamborghini. Wiggy would be like the first one out. Wiggy's like, peace out, man. Bedtime.
I know, Wiggy. I think you got this, man. You got this.
Okay.
All right, so Deepak Gorilla. So they do daily content, but on YouTube for a year or more, they do gaming. And the question is, I've changed my channel name, banner, logo, content at least 8 times to find my style. Have I hurt my channel doing this? No, if you are in the process right now where you are just trying to figure out how to do everything, one thing that can be helpful for people is, and I'm just kind of looking at your channel here real quick. Yeah, so I think you're okay. I mean, I just see 3 videos on the channel, and it looks like 3 shorts is all you have here on the channel. So you've probably deleted everything else. But when it comes to trying to figure out what it is that you want to do on YouTube, it's a real common thing for people to come on and be like, this is what I'm going to do. And then after a short period of time, they're like, I don't really want to do that anymore. I want to do this instead. And then after they do that for a little bit, they're like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this instead. And, they'll transition through things. So that can be problematic because if YouTube is or has figured out like, hey, if we show the videos to these people, they respond well to it. And then you change things that you start making content that those people don't care about. Then YouTube is like, hey, we're showing some of this stuff to some of these people. They're not responding well to it. So is this content good or not? And let's try it with some new people. So it does make things a little bit more difficult. But as long as you are if you have found the thing and you're like, yep, this is the thing that I'm kind of going all in on here for the next few years, then in that particular case, you just stay in that lane and just make sure that the content that you're publishing from today forward is all targeted towards those viewers that you're trying to reach. But it can be problematic when you're switching all the time. But that's also how people find their way as well, right? So you're kind of got 2 things going there to where like, yep, problematic, but this is also, I kind of need to do this to find my way. So if you do find something and you're like, yeah, this is the thing that I want to do, you can keep doing it on that channel because I see you're even deleting content just to focus it on one thing, which, is okay. But if you're like, yeah, this is the thing that I'm going to do, then either just focus on that channel or say, okay, now that I know this is what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start something new. And then that way I'm going to be able to tap into, the extra love that YouTube's giving to new channels right now and like that kind of stuff. But I think what you're going through, though, is pretty normal when it comes to YouTube because it's tough committing to something, especially when it comes to being a creative and when it comes to, making stuff that you're putting out there for the world. It's kind of hard to kind of lock yourself down and be like, okay, this is it. This is what this is going to be the thing that I'm going to fully immerse myself into. Like, you got to really love what it is that you're doing.
It's hard to keep that going. I think it's easy to do it in spurts. Yeah. But to do that consistently over a long period of time. What's the data on creators that essentially don't make it?
It's high.
It's very high.
Yeah, very high.
And we talked about this before.
Yeah.
Somebody who did a presentation. You did a presentation.
Yeah,
on
me.
this.
Yeah. I've done it. Roberto's done it. Yeah, it's like when it comes to people that don't get more than 1,000 views, I think it's something like 80-something%, I believe. When it comes
don't make it. They
no,
end up quitting.
this isn't like the people that ended up quitting. Like that's higher. Yeah, that's higher. But when it comes to like view counts, I think it's it might be like 40% of channels don't break or videos don't break 100 views.
That's crazy.
It is. Like out of all the content uploaded to YouTube, like 40% don't break 100 views. So stiff competition out there. Right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yep, gotta have your game face on, so to speak.
Yeah, you know, what I take away from that is that the people who are not breaking 100 views or not breaking 1,000 views consistently, you lack skills. You lack skills that you can learn,
or you just might not be as interested, right? Like I think some people.
Yeah, I mean, you can be half-assed in it, or you're just not that interested in it,
right?
Or you just currently lack skills, and you need to pause for a second and figure out, okay, what am I lacking?
Yeah.
What am I doing wrong? Are my thumbnails not getting clicked? Are my titles bad? Is the packaging bad? Am I terrible on camera? Am I terrible at editing? Something is not working. Identify what that is and spend a lot of time trying to improve that skill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough. I think there's also, in terms of skewing that information.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of people that just upload videos to where it's like, hey, I'm just interested in this right now, so I'm just going to make some videos about this because I like just making videos regardless what it is that they're about.
Yeah.
And I think that, for the people that take that approach, it does kind of skew the information a bit. And you also have people that just upload videos to like, just kind of document their own family stuff and share it with family, and all of that kind of stuff is included too.
Poker Homie says it's more competitive now, and it's about to get a lot more competitive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen the Google VO3 that came out.
Let's talk about that.
Holy cow.
Let's talk about that for a moment. Listen, okay. I don't want to be the doom and gloom guy.
Yeah, you do.
I don't really want to be
you do.
At my core, I don't want to be the gloom and doom guy.
Yeah, yes, you do. You do.
Most of us are absolutely cooked.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, listen. I can't urge all of you enough to put a gameplay together, or a game plan together, to learn the necessary skills, to do what you need to do to secure your place online as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. I predict we have between 3 to 5 years, and AI agrees with that assessment. So do you, and so do a lot of other people. We have about 3 to 5 years as creators before a significant portion of us are replaced by AI that looks so real you can't tell, or the people don't care if it's AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the VO3 videos yet,
it's pretty incredible.
It's like, yeah, on one hand, we talked about this. On one hand, I was like, that's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. On the other hand, I was like, that's that's like, it's over. Like, it's so over. Yeah. We're so cooked. And that's just like VO3. Imagine what VO4 is going to be like, VO5. Right? Like just a couple more years. There are clips out of the VO3 that you cannot tell are fake. Right. The only way I could tell they were fake is I put on headphones and I was listening to the audio behind them, and I was just I was pixel peeping. Otherwise, you can't tell. 99.9% of the people on the internet will watch most of these videos and not be able to tell. Yeah. And that's VO3. Yeah. So by the time the next version comes out and they can get the audio, the sound bed essentially put together, it's over. Yeah. It's over. Like if you're doing talking head stuff, people have services already that will build everything for you with AI. Here's your script. They put the script in the video. It makes the videos. So if you're doing faceless content, most of you are living on borrowed time. If you are in front of the camera, a lot of you are on borrowed time. So get in there now, learn the skills, and cement your place on social media. Find a way to try to stand out. Try to be unique. Keep the human element for as long as you can, because it's about to get really rough. You agree? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like and I hate saying that, but it is what it is. Yeah, like that's
I think there's definitely still going to be a place for people because there's already bots like you were talking about where they're interacting on people's behalves in live streams and things like that, and like the VTubers are currently using some of this, and in addition to that, this is going to be great for people using like B-roll and stuff like that. That part's going to be cool, but yeah, in terms of like story, people that tell good stories and can put together entertaining content, those people are going to be the people that win.
Yep.
And when it comes to, and by win, I mean that just do the best. So, you might still be able to do well, but just not as good as them, right? Because they're just going to crush, and they're going to take a lot of, viewership because they're going
to be able to do it at scale quickly.
Right. Well, and it's making it possible to where, somebody that can't do all of the stuff because of all the finances required to where they can spend a few $100s in VO, or I'm sure ChatGPT is going to, update their stuff, and everybody, it's just going to keep getting better. Yeah. They're going to spend, a little bit of money on that, and they're going to be able to make like full production, like 30-minute things to where every week they're putting out these like incredible, like sci-fi films and stuff like that are all AI generated. Yeah. And I think that's where the real threat is, because, people are going to want to watch that type of stuff. Like one of the examples that it gave is even for gamers, right? As a gamer, if you're a gamer in here and you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, I play games, and because of that, like I have nothing to worry about. So one of the examples that they gave in VO3 was a gamer, and he's sitting there and he's playing the game, and it recreated Fortnite Battle Royale. And basically, it recreated the gameplay of Fortnite Battle Royale.
So it recreated the guy
playing. It looks
playing
exactly like a dude just sitting there playing Fortnite.
So it created the guy playing Fortnite.
And down in the corner, just like the gamers do their stuff.
But then it actually recreated the game on top of it. So it wasn't just some like fuzzy, it was
it wasn't like this like blurred out thing in the background. No, it was like this dude's playing Fortnite is what it looks like. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to address this. So Wallace Bankley asked a great question. Does Google really want that AI instead of being human? Well, Google's developing this. Number one, Google wants to make money. Yep. And when it comes to YouTube, YouTube wants to make money. They want to put ads on top of your videos. They want to get ad revenue from companies. These are corporations. That's the equivalent of saying, does Apple want factory workers, or would Apple replace the factory workers with automation if it could save money and make more money by getting rid of the factory workers? It's the same thing. They're in this to make money. There's, like Nick said, there's always going to be a place for the humans. But AI is going to completely flood social media.
Yeah. I mean, it already is.
But it's...
Yeah, like I watch some people on TikTok right now that are kind of documenting some of this. Yeah. And there's one girl in particular that I'm watching, and she just talks about all kinds of AI stuff.
Yeah, some people
and she did 1 week where she just made AI content, and that content is now generated over 3 million views on TikTok. Right. And it's her. It's an avatar of her.
It looks just like her.
Yeah, and basically it's her talking about the stuff that she normally talks about, but it's AI, and like nobody noticed. So it's pretty
well,
crazy.
what I'm saying is though, like I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
You know how to do it. Okay. I don't
just use HeyGen. HeyGen does it.
I don't know how to do it like that. So my point is when that becomes obtainable and easy for everyone to figure out.
It is. I mean, all you do is go to HeyGen, and then you basically just talk into the camera for 2 minutes.
I don't mean make your video there. This is the whole thing. She's just like nonstop uploading to all the different platforms.
Well, no. This is her. She just made like 7 videos over the course of the week, and they got 3 million views.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
them as like regular videos. I'm not talking about automation and all that stuff.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the automation stuff.
No. This is just her to where it's an avatar,
just her avatar of her. Just her avatar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, crazy. Back to the question here. They want to make money.
Yeah.
They want to make money, and if.
Listen, here's the cooker.
Yeah.
Is that if you have that
I'm scared. I'm afraid.
Right. For the creators that check that box to help train their AI.
Oh, yes. Let's talk about that for a second.
You're like, all right, bring it. Right. So inside of your creator studio, when you're uploading videos, you have that option to check the box to help train their AI. And basically what we're doing when we're checking that box is we're saying like, hey, basically you can use our content to help make your system smarter, so that eventually if this gets good enough, you're not going to have to pay me any ad money, because you're going to be able to make your own videos using all of these different things that you're collecting on, and and basically just cut out the creator entirely. I mean, not really, but they can do that sort of thing if they chose to. Yeah. So it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm not saying you're all gone. But a large percentage of creators are going to just fall to the wayside. Yeah. They're gonna be, because you're gonna be harder to be found.
Right.
They're gonna be harder to be found.
It's just more competition. That's all it is.
It's so much more competition.
Here's what I think is gonna happen there.
But it looks real, and it's indistinguishable from they're making avatars that already look real.
Right.
Like at what people
and videos that already look real, and voices that already look real, and podcasts that already look real.
And if you don't know what we're talking about, the VO3, they have people walking out on the streets with microphones doing like street interviews as AI. Yeah. And they're interviewing people and it looks real. Yeah. It looks just like one of those, late night videos that somebody shot with their phone or whatever. it's terrifying.
Right.
Like I'm afraid of, like, you know, how in the world do you, like, we've had this discussion a couple of times. Like, how do you position yourself in a way to where you've carved out your little space on social media to where you can still compete against that? Because they're going to be
I think it's going to ultimately come down to just connecting with other people who are into what you're into.
The human connection community.
Right? Yeah, I think that's what's going to come down to.
Yeah.
So it's going to come down to connecting with others who are into the things that you're into, and also being very clear. So when it comes to YouTube specifically, I think this is where, like, voice replies and things like that they're working on right now is going to be helpful, because those are going to be like little things that are going to be helpful for content creators to be able to use that to add that, you know, human side. So I think the more they lean into that kind of stuff, I think the better it's going to be for you know, for creators in that regard.
Yeah, I follow a lot of AI people who put out AI news, and, you know, every other day there's some new service that pops up. I'm like, wow, that's amazing. Wow, that really looks cool. Wow, this is getting great. VO3 came out, and I saw the thread of videos, and I went, oh my God, we're cooked. Like, that was the first time.
Supposedly, I haven't tried to make them yet. Supposedly, they're still, like, a little bit challenging to make, but, you know, all you got to do is learn how to prompt, and that's just right now.
Yeah, for now. Yeah, for now. But that was the
Soon
first.
people will be just doing that on their phone.
Right.
And it's going to be, like, frustrating if it doesn't work the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the eyes are too close together.
Right.
Right. But that was the first time I ever looked at.
And length is also going to be a thing, right? So, like,
For now,
yeah. So I think once length gets worked out and they can consistently, you know, put together like a full 10-minute video on a topic, that's where things are going to get crazy, and it's probably not too far away.
Yeah.
Tan going in the kitchen says, now that my housing is sorted, I'm saving for Vid Summit. Haven't uploaded in a while due to personal issues, and I'm thinking of re-uploading 3+-year-old videos to revive my channel. I wouldn't worry about that. Instead, I would, you know, if you can, I would just, you know, start making some videos instead of, you know, taking them down and then re-uploading them. I mean, if they're evergreen, I mean, technically you could do that, but, you know, I would just try to make, you know, some original content. Or if you were going to do the some older videos, maybe do it in a new way. So, for example, instead of making something from scratch, do some reactions to your old videos, and then talk about maybe things that you would do differently now, that kind of thing. So then that way it's still a fresh offering, but it's using the old content and might not require as much, just to, you know, kind of, you know, get it back out there. But then you have to think about, okay, well, if I'm going to do that, is that going to be something that, you know, that I want to offer on my channel? Is it going to be something that's going to add value to my viewers? Is it going to be something to where if they really like it, you know, where I'm going to want to keep doing that? You got to consider all of those things as well.
Pocket Creator says, in the future, people won't just want content; they want to know it came from a real human. Authenticity will be new credibility. Yes, but here's the thing: you're not wrong. But here's the part about that. It's very quickly getting to the point to where the average person will not be able to tell. And that's the problem. So I want information from a real human. Unless social media accounts start flagging these videos as, oh, this is AI generated. Unless they're telling us that this is AI generated, very quickly you're not going to be able to tell that it's AI generated. Very quickly. I mean, we're almost there.
Next up, Hidden Jackpots. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do a channel about Niagara Falls and travel. Goal of the channel is to quit their job and to be a full-time content creator. And the question says, does it hurt your channel to have too many subjects, playlists, etc., food reviews, hotel reviews, live streams? So the idea when it comes to a YouTube channel is you want to make sure that your content is targeted towards a particular type of viewer. So, for example, if you were doing a travel channel, then food reviews, you know, in terms of, hey, I'm traveling around all these places and these are the dishes, you know, for those places, that might fit there. As a part of that, hotel reviews, you know, as part of your travel, that might fit there. When it comes to live streams, as long as those live streams are about traveling, the experiences you're having, you know, stuff like that, then in that case, you know, those are all things that might be a good fit for the people that are watching that content. So instead of thinking about it from the, you know, just the content side, think about it from the side of, okay, if I had a perfect viewer in terms of, you know, the person that I'm trying to reach for my YouTube channel, that would be interested in, you know, the type of content that I make, what exactly would that person be interested in? And would these videos all be in alignment with what it is that person cares about? So, you know, for example, because you do Niagara Falls and travel, so are you making content about people that are interested in traveling to Niagara Falls? If so, then doing food reviews about the different restaurants around those areas, hotel reviews about those areas, doing live streams out in the street or, in your place, whatever, talking about those areas. All of that might be a good fit for those people. However, if you are targeting people with your Niagara Falls videos of people that are just, they think your videos are super pretty. I haven't looked at the channel, but like, just as an example, let's say that you're doing videos that are just really pretty and cinematic and people are just watching them for the eye candy and for how they sound and how they look and just kind of the vibe that you create within the video. Then in that particular case, breaking everything up, might not be the best fit in that case. So it's more about, who is it I'm making content for? What type of content does that person like and how does it align with what I make? And verify the videos that you're publishing before you publish the content, meaning, okay, I want to make a video about this. Is it going to be a good fit for that type of person that's watching my content for, this particular reason? And if so, yes. If no, then don't make it. Or put it on a different channel. Next up, we got Frovo or Frovo FN.
Frovo FN?
Yep, Frovo FN. They upload when they have time, but on YouTube for less than 6 months. They do Fortnite improvement content. It's focused around making you the best player that you can be and achieving your goals, whether it's to go pro, get your first earnings, or just be the best out of your friends. And the question is, should I do live streams like you're doing, even though I have a small following? So when it comes to live stream, what are your thoughts on this, D? So should you do live streams like we do if you have a small following on your YouTube channel?
I made the mistake of waiting until I got 10,000 subscribers before I started going live on my own channel. That was a huge mistake. I should have been live streaming as soon as I had a couple of people subscribe to the channel who wanted to come. Listen, if you want to live stream, you have so much to learn. You have to learn about your gear. You have to learn, what do I do when this thing breaks and I'm live streaming? What happens if this, what if this shuts off? It's patting your head, rubbing your belly, essentially at all times. And you have a lot to learn. And I strongly urge you to learn how to confidently live stream for 5 people before you worry about live streaming for 50 people or for 500 people, whatever your target is. Start slow. So if you have a small channel and you're just getting started, start live streaming. You have a lot to learn. There's a lot of things you have to go through and prepare your brain for mentally to keep the conversation flowing, to keep the chat going. Granted, when there's not a lot of activity happening in the chat, it can be difficult if you are relying on audience interaction, but it forces you as the creator to pre-plan things to talk about. So what I always say, get a piece of paper, take notes, put it in your phone, write down 5, 8, or 10 bullet points, things to think, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about this, and then treat it like a video. Go live, treat it like a video, talk about those things, and if you have interaction, hang out with your audience, talk with them, answer their questions. If not, wrap it up, title it up, package it like a video. Get started. Don't wait, don't delay. I waited till 10,000 and I regret it. I mean, it's not like something bad happened.
I know.
But
Shame on you.
Yeah,
I can't believe.
You burn me with another cigarette.
Right.
I
can't believe.
Right. Yeah. No, I feel like I missed that. I'll tell you what happened. I missed that intimate time streaming with just a couple of people. Right. There's something cool. Like once you get over 50, 75 people, you kind of lose the ability to keep track and talk to everyone. So what I started doing is, because when I started going live at 10,000 subscribers, I would go live to be 100 people in there. So it was just like, there's a lot to do. I can't, communicate with everybody. So I started doing live streams like on Twitch and like on a hidden YouTube channel, and just like 5 people would show up. And it was the greatest thing ever. I absolutely loved it because you just get to hang out with those 5 people. Yeah.
It's more intimate.
It's more intimate. Yeah. And you can actually, that's how you build community, Just hanging out. I was hanging out with those 5 people and it was awesome. No disrespect to the 100 people that show up.
Sure.
Or however, the 50 people that show up, but there's just something different that happens when it's a smaller audience. That's my take.
Love it. Next up, we got Brocky Steve. They've been on YouTube they upload 1 time per week or more. Let's see here. The question is, would be grateful if you could check out my channel, look at my titles and thumbnails, and tell me where I'm going wrong, as I'm getting very low impressions, less than 500. So let me see what you're doing here. I'm just curious. Oh, I just put in your channel name and I'm getting this page isn't available. So I just copied and pasted right out of the form and I'm getting a page not available here. So that is a no. Just double checking that I clicked it right. Okay. Yep.
So Wages World asked about AI doing live streams. How does that work? So there's this thing right now called VTubers. It's been around for a while, and they have these characters that do just animated and all of this stuff. So I was reading that VTubers are now integrating with AI, so they're using AI to completely run the characters. So AI runs the characters, and the characters are interacting with the audience. I think live streamers have a few more years of a safety net there, but once they can render these realistic looking AI humans to interact with the AI and interact with the crowd or interact with the audience and read what you're saying and have interaction with you, then they're going to do that too.
Yeah.
But I think it's a little bit safer for live streamers for a few more years. You've got a while.
Next up, we got Salty Potato, I think, or Potate. I think is what that is. Yeah, it is Potate. They upload 1 time per week or more, but on YouTube for less than 6 months. The type of channel is unsure. And the question is, I put too much fluff in the beginning and my viewer experience or retention is low. If I go straight to the point, I feel that the rest of my video doesn't matter in comparison. I don't think that I have enough interesting content per video to make the entire video engaging while going above 5 minutes. Okay, so here's what you want to make sure that you are thinking about. And I see your comment down here, and I think that's a really good idea in terms of brainstorming. But basically, when it comes to your videos, if you don't think that the content is interesting enough, then the next step that you should take is trying to spend a lot of time while making content thinking about, okay, what can I do to make this more interesting? What can I do to make this more to where, if a viewer watches this, they're gonna be more in tune with what's going on here in the video. Because like if you're adding all the fluff in the beginning and viewer retention is low, then definitely get straight to the point and see if it makes a difference. And then if it does, then that tells you that the beginning of your videos are hurting you, and adding all that fluff is hurting you. And then that gives you a next step from there, which is, okay, now how do I make this, how do I make it good in the new way that I'm doing it, right? And adding a lot of fluff in the beginning of videos, that's normal, and it's really common on YouTube, but it can really hurt retention severely. So because of that, try to get to the point or just have a good hook. Like a good hook can also, and by hook, what I mean is when your video first starts, show something, say something, share something to where it makes people be like, oh, I want to, stick around to hear the rest of that, to see the rest of that, to know what happens, that kind of stuff. So when it comes to the beginning of the video, focus it more on how am I going to grab the viewer's attention based on the expectation they might have from my thumbnail and title, and then, get them into the actual video content itself. But this is where YouTube is challenging. So one of the hardest things, I believe, when it comes to YouTube, like you can use tools like the app I just published. You can use YouTube autocomplete. You can use Google Trends. You can use Google. You can use TubeSpanner. You can use vidIQ. You can use Creative Fuel. Like you can, use your comment section. You can use information coming from communities around your content to come up with video ideas, right? That's easy. When it comes to making thumbnails, you can just focus on an image. And if you get good at just focusing on an image, you can do that too, and you can still make effective thumbnails. When it comes to writing titles, you have tools that can help you with that as well. But at the very least, you can just be informative. So that even though those things are challenging, if you don't try to overcomplicate it, then those can also, be a little easier. But even once you do all of those things right, in my opinion, I think the hardest thing is making content to where when people come into the content itself, they're like, oh yeah, this is exactly what I was looking for. And then they'll watch it and keep watching it and keep watching it. Like, I think that is the hardest part about YouTube, outside of time and having the time to do it in the workflow. But like when it comes to, the actual performance stuff on YouTube, I personally, what do you think, D? Like, I think the video side is the hardest part. Just because there's so much that goes into it, and if you mess it up in terms of, you don't start it right, then everything else you do doesn't even matter. Yeah,
the video's tough. You can change your title, you can change your description, you can change your thumbnail, you can change your packaging, but you can't change the. I mean, technically you can do some editing, but just generally speaking, you can't really change your video. For me, I've always struggled with a strong hook that keeps the majority of people engaged for the first 30 seconds. That has always been a struggle for me. No matter what I try, it doesn't matter if I'm in the video, if I'm out of the video, doesn't matter if I've tried everything that my little dinosaur pea brain can come up with to try to fix
God, I'm
that.
glad you finally acknowledged that. Thank you.
And nothing that I've tried really makes that big of a difference, other than, I mean, cutting out the fluff at the beginning helps, but it's not like wow, that was a game changer. That being said, and here's the key part, I don't have to have the best video. I just have to outcompete the other people.
Right.
That's key.
That's powerful, though. Right.
That's key.
That's a great perspective, though.
That's key. So I know that my hooks are weak. I know they've always been weak. I know that I try to make them better. I know that that's not my strong point. And I don't know if people click in and like, oh, I just hate this dude. This guy again, I hate Nick Nimmin. I don't know why he's changing his name on this other channel. I hate Nick Nimmin, and they click off. I mean, that's more than likely what's happening. And I accept it.
Yeah.
But
definitely because of me.
But that doesn't stop some of my videos from getting hundreds of thousands of views.
Right.
Or over 1 million views. Or making thousands of dollars on a per video basis.
Right.
Because they outperform other videos that are similar to them.
Right.
And that's the thing, you know. So I don't beat myself.
Great perspective.
Don't get me wrong.
That.
I would, and think of it this way: if I could get that hook together, if I could get that beginning, if I could hold them harder or hold them more for 30 seconds, it would be a steamrolling video. It would just it would crush. But I can't. But I'm still out.
You can. You just haven't cracked it yet.
I haven't cracked it yet. But for most of the videos, not all, some of my videos suck, but most of them, they do really well long term.
So Scale Train Station says, I don't have to run faster than the bear. I just have to run faster than the other people that the bear's chasing.
Listen.
Yeah.
So we ran with the bulls years ago, right, in Spain. And we're getting ready to run. And I got that advice from a dude there. He'd run. He's just like, you know, we're all there. We had our shirts. We had our little sashos on and everything. And he was like, listen, you only, what do you say? He said something about always making sure that you're faster than a drunken Spaniard. And because all the guys there from Spain, they're all drinking. They're all drinking. He was like, just make sure you're faster.
That sounds irresponsible to me.
He was like, just make sure you're faster than a drunken Spaniard. And if all else fails, make sure there's always a drunken Spaniard between you and the bull.
Love it.
Yeah, so we live to tell the tale. Yeah.
So Brad, Magic Flying Potato says, 4 years, where's the time gone? You and Dee have been so helpful in my YouTube journey. I'm still still having fun doing the YouTube. See you at Vid Summit. See you at Vid Summit, my man.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it this year. It's going to be awesome, as it always is. And let's see here.
Brian G. Johnson says, engagement and watch time. That's the core. That's the core of YouTube success. Yep.
I just double clicked on what you were talking about. Yeah, Brian G. Johnson here, the author of a book about YouTube, says engagement and watch time, that is the core of YouTube success. And I'm pretty much just repeating what Dee just said, so I didn't even have to say that, I guess.
Yeah. But where do you struggle with videos? You didn't mention that. We talked about it being hard, the hardest part. But where do you struggle with? Because that's my part. It's just that beginning, man.
So mine is, from a strategy standpoint, I stand in my own way.
Okay.
So it's not necessarily the video content itself. I do pretty good there. But the thing that I struggle with is I'll put out content based on, like, this is what people need to hear or whatever, instead of being like, this is hot right now, so I need to make a video on this, or I know that people are going to respond well to this, so let me make a video on that. It's more about like, okay, I know they're going to respond well to this, so I'm going to put that out, and I know that there's those that I have to do.
Yeah.
But then in addition to that, I'm like, okay, like what do people need right now, based on like looking through my comments, feedback, and questions we get in our live streams and stuff like that. And from a strategy perspective, that works against me.
Yeah. I do that sometimes too. Like, based on what I'm seeing out there, comments under my channel, comments under other people's channels, just comments in the live streams, or just there's been an update somewhere. I'm like, wow, this would be really helpful for somebody. In terms of thinking this is really helpful, those videos generally don't do well. The more helpful it is, the more helpful the video is for me, the less likely it is to be a successful video. The more I just kind of throw a video together and not really spend a lot of time on it, surprisingly, the better it does. That's a go figure.
Right.
But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like you should be like, you could be chasing trends and how it could relate to YouTubers and yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Kind of gotten lazy in my
Old age.
in my time.
Yep. We have a super
FIFA
chat.
Agent says, what's the difference between long videos and live videos? So a long video is a regular video that you upload to YouTube, like 16:9 aspect ratio usually, video that you upload as a video into YouTube system. And then a live stream is where you have live streaming software, or you use the built-in stuff on YouTube, the built-in features of YouTube, to where you hit a button and it actually shows what's happening right now, like this conversation that we're having. So if this was a video, then in that case, we wouldn't be able to have this interaction. But because this is a live stream, it allows us to, be able to have interactions like this from, wherever it is that you're in the world and wherever we are in the world. We can have interactions and conversations, in live streams like this. So that's the difference between two.
Home Rapper Repair says YouTube struggle is putting in the work without knowing the outcome. Yeah, that's the thing, and that goes back to the majority of channels don't crack 100 views.
Yeah,
right.
The majority, 40-ish% of videos don't.
Okay, 40,
yeah, but majority don't crack 1,000 though.
Okay,
yeah,
whatever.
So
40% or so don't crack 100. The majority don't crack 1,000.
Yeah. I can step away for 1 second.
Yeah, however you want to break that down. If you put it into perspective, 100 people watching anything that you make is absolutely incredible. Let's say you're an artist and you have a night show at the gallery, right? Like, I'm putting my artwork up at this gallery. There's a little coffee shop or whatever. They're putting my artwork up there for the night, and you get 100 people coming through. They're going to say, "How was the event?" You're going to say, "It was fantastic. 100 people came through." But this gets skewed when it comes to YouTube. You put up your video and say, "Oh man, only 100 people watched my video," but that's incredible that 100 people watched your video. Obviously, not everybody watched it to the end, but a lot of them did. A lot of people were there and they listened to what you had to say. And we start getting into hundreds of views, thousands of views. 1,000 people watch my videos. That's incredible. But to your point, we're in this game and we're all kind of programmed in. We need views. We need as many views as possible for whatever reason. Maybe you're trying to be, to make money. Maybe you're trying to accomplish a mission, whatever it is. Maybe you're trying to drive people to your business. You want as many views as possible. And we take for granted the fact that we had 100 people watch our videos, or 500 people, or 1,000 people watch the videos. So we don't know the outcome getting into it. And I think that we don't know what's going to happen does a mind game on us. I think it does a job on our heads, and it makes us kind of lose touch of that reality of like, wow, 100 people watched my video. Yeah. That's incredible. 50 people watched my video. That's incredible. If I walked out on the street right now and just started like talking about whatever, like one person might stop and listen to me, and another person might slow down and throw a drink at me in the car. You know what I mean? Sure. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think it's easy to lose perspective of all of this. Yeah. But yeah, it is. We don't know the outcome, but we will. But that's the thing about being a creator. We don't know the outcome. Creators, it doesn't matter if you're YouTube, it doesn't matter if you're an artist, you're a creator, you're a musician, you're a sculptor, whatever it is that you create, you make it. You don't know how the world's going to receive it. All you can do is make it and you give it to the world. And then the world decides if they like it or not. That's all you can do. Yep. And that's tough. That's hard.
Hey, really quick, FIFA Agent says, do live videos perform same like regular videos? It depends on the live stream. So when it comes to lives versus, VODs or videos on demand, sometimes, live streams can perform better. Other times they don't. It just depends. There's a lot of factors involved when it comes to YouTube. So, if you are talking about trending topics and things like that, and you are, talking about things that people care about at scale, then in that case, live content can do amazing. If you are uploading videos on the same thing, then in a lot of cases, those can often do better. But sometimes, the live streams can outperform. So it's not like a yes, absolutely, and no, absolutely. Like, both of them do well on, different types of content. Okay, I'm going to address this. Hold on, and this is good. And I'm not attacking you personally, but this is good perspective here. So JJ the Lonely Bull in Asia says, but D, that's like 100 people going to see your movie, and they all got up and leave the theater at 6 minutes into the movie. Nice. Okay, why do you get up and walk out of a movie? Nice. Why? Why do you walk out of a movie? Because it's not good. Yep. Exactly. So if people are walking out of our movies 6 minutes in, it means we got to make better movies. It means you need to make better movies, right? Go stand in front of the mirror, point at the person you see in the mirror, and go, you need to make better movies. Everybody's walking out of your movie. Yeah. Yep, absolutely true. Scale Trade Station says you don't know the outcome of anything you start. Yep,
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right.
So, hey, just a quick reminder, by the way, just in case you are just joining the stream. So we have a form down in the description where you can put where you put your questions that we're answering. We order them we answer them in the order that they receive. Also, at the very top of the screen, you are going to see that I have a link to the app that I just published last night. This app is a app that I made for content creators. And with this, and this is going to be kind of like just a quick show of just kind of, what it is. I want to take you through the whole app, but I'm just not set up for that here. But basically, in a nutshell, this area here of the app keeps you up to date with all news, related to YouTube. This area right down here, when you are filling out your content calendar, this here will help you keep track of the content that you're publishing. You also have these home screen widgets as well. And with these home screen widgets, they also help you to stay on top of the content that is coming up. If you are trying to get into the YouTube Partner Program, then you have the options here to where it will, show what your progress is for getting into the YouTube Partner Program. I do have to make some adjustments here now that YouTube has changed it from views to engaged views. So there will be some adjustments made here, but this will keep your progress on that. In addition to that, when it comes to the content planner, so with this, there's some cool stuff in the content planner. So if you are one of the people, because I looked at my stats a few minutes ago, so if you are one of the people that have installed this, while we've been here live, so basically in this particular section in the content calendar, there's also little info icons when you're filling out information, when you're actually inputting all of the information about your video. And with those icons, it's also going to teach you why different things are important and how to think about different things. So, for example, when it comes to titles, it talks about, making compelling titles, and it gives you a bunch of viral title templates and things like that that you can use just for information when it comes to putting your titles together. And I'm going to be working on making that part better as well. But for right now, it's already pretty cool. But you also have advanced mode as well. So this is in your settings. So if you turn this on, then what this is going to do is it's going to give you a lot more information in your content calendar, and it helps you be more intentional. So one of the things that you always hear us talking about is making sure that you are intentional when you're making content. So what it does is it helps you be able to also know when you're putting your content together, even planning your content, even at the idea stage, hey, here's what I might do with the thumbnail. Here's a video that I'll probably link to in the end screen. Here's the video I'm going to link to in my pinned comments. And the whole idea is just to kind of keep you on track and keep you thinking about these things, because all these things are important when it comes to YouTube. So while you're scheduling your content, you can also learn along the way, and you get these fields that make you think about what it is that you're doing, so you can make sure that you are being intentional about your progress through YouTube. But other things that are in here is there's an inspiration tab. So with this inspiration tab, what you can do is if you're watching a video on YouTube, or if you see a video on YouTube, you don't have to watch it. But if you're like, man, I really like this thumbnail, or I really like the title, then you can hit the share option on YouTube in the YouTube mobile app, and then you can share that video right into the new Creator app, and then you can start to create an archive of all these things that you like. You can categorize those shares. So for example, let's say that you really like the colors of a thumbnail, or you like the title specifically, then you can just mark it as that, and you can even write yourself notes. And then you have a sorting option to where when you go into that area of the app, you can say, okay, I'm looking for thumbnail ideas. And then you can click on that, and it's going to show you all of the thumbnails that you've saved, which is pretty cool. In addition to that, it has the Video Idea Explorer. With the Video Idea Explorer, what that does is you just put in the topics that you make videos about, and it's going to show you all of the ways that people are looking for that content. And by doing that, it's going to help you make sure that the videos that you're making are about things that people are proven to care about. In addition to that, I know when it comes to uploading videos, recording, live streaming, stuff like that, we all have things that we forget from time to time. I'm sure you've seen stories of people on Twitter, or we've probably talked about here on the live stream, where people are like, oh, I made a video and I forgot to turn my mic on, stuff like that. So this area helps you with that. And then we also have, different resources in there as well for you. And when it comes to the things that are in there, there's even a little detailed things that I just wanted to put in here just to help you even more. So like, keeping track of your camera settings. So if you're somebody like me that'll move your camera around a lot and things like that into different environments, this helps you kind of lock it in for the environments that you need to stay consistent, so you always get that good looking shot. There's a break timer in here just to remind you, because mental health as creators is important, just to remind you to take a break. And so that you can take a break, it's got a timer in there with a bell attached to it, so you can just kind of mindfully, sit there and take that break. And it even has like a script warm-up timer there so that before you make your video, you can say your script out loud, and while you're doing it, you can actually, kind of track the time of about how long the video is going to be as well. But you can just kind of use that to warm up your voice while you are doing the whole thing. But it has those and a bunch of other features in there. So one that's actually not on this page right now that is in here is there's also the, let me turn that off. Can I zoom in on this? Oh, I can't. So basically, there's also a thumbnail analysis tool. I wonder if you can see it better on the iPad version. Yeah, you can't. So basically, I wonder if I can do the image here. No. So basically with this, what it does is you can upload your thumbnail, right? Is you upload your thumbnail into this, and then it's going to give you feedback on your thumbnail. Because as content creators, one of the things that people have a lot of trouble with is like, hey, how do I know if this thumbnail is good or not? How do I know if this is going to be something that my target audience is going to identify? So when you upload it into New Creator app, what it's going to do is it's going to give you feedback on your thumbnail, and you put your thumbnail and your title, and it's looking for the connection between your thumbnail and title, and then it's going to let you know if things are in alignment or not, and ways that you can improve your thumbnail. So lots of different things in there to help you in a bunch of different ways. So you can try this out. If you go to newcreatorapp.com, then it'll take you right here to the Apple Store where you can go ahead and get that installed. And give me feedback. If you're in there and you're using it, my whole thing with this is I'm trying to make it the best app out there for content creators. So I'm open to feedback. I'm open to feature development. I've gotten a lot of really good feedback and feature ideas already. So now that the app's live, I'm going to be in kind of rapid development here to, try to, keep it updating with some cool stuff, on a regular basis. So because of that, make sure you check it out and just be, if you're like, hey, this would be really cool if, just send me that feedback through the form that is in the app, and I'll see what I can do about getting it in there, or modifying it in ways to make it as good as I can for all of us.
Tackle this one out of the chat here. So Shamala, apologies if I didn't pronounce your name correctly. She says, "Hi guys, I pay for my videos to other countries. After posting this week, my videos are not moving. Not sure if I have something wrong. Please help."
Pay for my videos for other countries. I don't know.
Are you buying views for YouTube? Is that what you're doing? I think
you're muted, D. Yeah. So with that,
of course I am.
Yeah, with that thing, basically, she mentioned that she's like buying something from other
views,
countries.
maybe?
So yeah, so you don't want to buy views for your videos. Just stop doing that, because what you have to do is you have to learn how to make content that is competitive within YouTube's system against other videos. And once you learn how to do that, then you're not going to have to worry about buying ads or buying anything for your video content.
Yeah. I always do that whenever I eat. So we always bring in like protein bars and stuff to snack on when we start to low energy or something. And whenever I eat, I turn off my mic. I turn off my mic so you don't hear like a horse or a cow over here just chewing on cud right next to the microphone.
Yep.
And I always forget to turn it back on. Yeah. Go, yay, woo.
So next up on our list here, we got the Dr. Vibe show. Dr. Vibe uploads 1 time per week or more, been on YouTube for a year or more. He does news and information content. The question is, appreciate both of you, even though I've been on YouTube for a while, 1,820 subs over a long time. I enjoy it. I don't use my phone a lot to create content on YouTube. It sounds like I should be doing this. Do you have any suggestions on best practices on using your phone maximizing YouTube? So one of the things when it comes to your phone, at least, in terms of me, I don't make content on my phone, but I do manage a lot of stuff on my phone, which, not to shout the app out again, but that's part of some of the features that are in there to kind of help me with that in terms of organizing video ideas and stuff. But when it comes to video ideas, I always want to capture ideas as fast as I possibly can. When it comes to like thumbnails, if I have an idea for a thumbnail, then, being able to quickly capture that. Those types of things are what I do on the phone, and just general brainstorming related things. When it comes to actually recording the videos themselves, a lot of people do that. Like the technology is there, and it's been there for a while now to where, you can get really good results out of your phone as long as you have enough lighting that you're seeing there. So because of that, the limitations are just dissolving away when it comes to making content. So it's not that you have to make content on your phone in any means, But if you are using your phone, I would definitely be using it to make shorts that are on topic with what it is that you're talking about. So, you know, if you are doing news, for example, then in that case, if you have like a live stream or a video that you publish on your channel, then you can also you can make a video, right? Just make a short. Hey, here's just me talking to the camera, making a short while I'm walking down the street, talking about the news thing that I'm also talking about in the long form content, or maybe just a quick version of it. You can do that sort of thing as well. It can just kind of help you produce more content, as long as you find that your viewers find value in that particular way that you're doing it. So yeah, so when it comes to your phone, you know, just an increase in output, you know, is really the advantage, because you got it with you all the time. Right. Yep. So since it's the thing that's always with you, it means that you can make content whenever you want. JJ the Lowly Bull in Asia, thanks for the super chat. Says, looking to get another camera, cheap budget around $300 to $500. Should I get an older Galaxy phone or an A16 or S series, Canon 70D DSLR, or a Fayuntech Pocket 3?
Fayuntech.
Fayuntech. I'm not sure what the Pocket 3 Fayuntech is, but I can tell you that the Pocket 3 is pretty awesome. The Osmo Pocket 3 is pretty awesome, but I think that's like $600, isn't it? It's not $350.
I don't know, but I would stay away with, like, if you're looking for a camera, I wouldn't think older phone.
Yeah.
If you're thinking camera, I would think newer phone
or older camera.
Yeah, I would think newer phone, newer device. And since you're running around Asia, I would definitely go small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing too is, you know, when it comes to the budget, you might just want to put that aside for right now and just kind of keep working on it to, you know, increase that budget a little bit. So then you can buy that one camera that you'll be able to use for a long time. Like, if you are just like, hey, I'm just going to quickly get the you know, like within this budget, it might still be okay for a long time, because we're kind of at that point with technology. But if you're like, yeah, I just want to make sure I get something that's kind of future proofed, then, you know, if you just save up a little bit more for the phone, or sorry, for the camera or phone, then in that case, you know, you'll probably be able to get more out of it for longer.
Next. Dr.
Vibe Show, my pleasure, man. So, so next up, we've got... Okay, this person hasn't started a channel yet. The type of channel is inspiration. The goal is to connect with others who like what they like. And the question is, I've been following your recommendations on viewing other creators like Colby and Gang. Very helpful. Thank you. U&D recommended things in your older videos like microphones, Boya BY-M1, as well as lighting and other things. Are you both still suggesting those types of items, even though suggested from your older videos? Boya BY-M1.
That's a great question.
It is a great question.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer of get the gear that works for you. And when it comes to audio, I don't think there's been, I mean, they keep making microphones, and you know, now they're all Bluetooth microphones, but there's not like an advancement in quality, really.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the actual capsules in the microphone. It's not like you're like, oh my goodness, the year is 2025. Lapel microphones are on a new level. No, They just don't have a cord anymore. Mm-hmm. They all sound the same. So I would say this: if your budget is in that area to where the Boya is what you're looking at, I still think is a fantastic microphone. If you don't mind the 3 meter or 30 meter cable.
It's like the super long.
Like
we could probably plug it into the camera here and then run it to wherever you live, and it'd probably reach.
It is the longest cable for a microphone I've ever seen in my life. Mm-hmm. Like, it's like they took all the cables for all the microphones and put it into one microphone. Yeah. Like, you could use it if it were strong enough. You could tie it against like a pole and like use it to rappel at like a 5th story condo or something.
Yeah. Or like a lasso, and then connect it to an antenna on a building across the street, and then swing across, or maybe tightrope it, maybe.
Yeah, tightrope.
Yeah,
exactly.
Zip line.
That's how long it is.
Yeah.
It's not exaggerating. But it's a fantastic microphone.
Yeah. Not only does it pick up your audio, but it can save your life one day.
It can save your life, yes. It can save your life. But if you do have the budget to get a wireless microphone, there are a lot of great wireless options out there.
That Hollyland, man, I can't speak well enough about it. That combined with Adobe Enhance, I mean, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, how much is the Hollyland?
I'm not sure. I think it might be around $150, maybe $200. I think. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Chantel says Boya just released a new wireless setup. Tempted to grab it and test it out.
Nice.
Yeah, I haven't checked that out. DJI makes one. Rode makes wireless. There's all kinds of options. But if that's your budget, like the Boya BYM1 is something like that's what I'm looking at here budget wise. It's a fantastic microphone. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my opinion has not changed on that. It just comes down to do you want a cable or not. And you want a cable that could potentially save your life and rope cattle at the same time? And if the answer is yes, then I still stand by the blade.
Yeah, so Jerry says the Lark M1 is under $100. Okay, nice. Yeah, I'm thinking Asia prices. I'm not sure. In the world over there.
Yeah.
So trying to learn bikes is our next question here. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do motorcycle maintenance content. And the question is, with the proliferation of AI and its exponential growth, knowing that it will be almost impossible to detect in the future, what do you think YouTube's position will be to deal with this situation? I think YouTube's going to embrace it. I think that there's a reason that they have the checkbox that has content creators to where they can help train YouTube's AI on content.
They're training it.
They're training it
off of your
using
content.
the content of YouTube. So because
they're
of
using our content.
Yeah, if you check the box.
If you check the box, they are using our content. If you let them to train AI that might replace us.
so because of that,
that's like training the next guy to take your job.
Yeah, so because of that, I think that they're going to fully embrace it. I don't know if they are going to, because they also have a checkbox to where you're supposed to check it if you have AI generated content. But I don't know how that's all going to work out in the future. Like I have no idea. Like I don't know if there's going to be regulations in place that force people to legally disclose if it's AI, because YouTube has that checkbox. But once the content gets to a certain level, you might not even be able to tell, and then therefore you can't even complain about it. If they didn't check that box. So there might end up being, hopefully there ends up being some type of legal, restrictions there to where it's like, hey, you have to by law disclose if this is AI. But even with that, then you have the thing about like, well, that only applies to, whatever countries pass that law. And, it's going to get complicated, I think. But I think that it's, it's going to be interesting. Like it's, the only, I can't remember the exact saying, but there's something about the only constant is change. Right.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to this is just, one of those additional, things that is going to, that's already taking the world by storm. And all we can do is kind of hold on, try to navigate through it the best way possible, prepare the best that we possibly can based on the information that we have at this moment in time, and, keep moving forward.
Yeah. If you're concerned and you're like, yeah, I'm really worried about what AI is going to do, and you should be, I would, in addition to learning how to humanize your account as much as possible and building the community around your channel and anchoring yourself as a leader in your niche or a place that people want to go and watch your videos and hang out with, I would also at the same time, I would be learning how to use AI. I would be learning how to make prompts, how to help you write stuff. Not that you
try to not be one of those people that are like, oh yeah, I'm staying as far away from that as I can. Like it's coming like a steamroller. So definitely try to learn some of it.
You can use AI to speed up your process. You can use AI to help you write a script, to help you fine-tune scripts. You can help AI, or you can use AI to help generate thumbnails or help give you ideas to make your own thumbnails. You can even use
TubeSpanner has
that. You can use AI to help you edit faster.
Like, to help you make more content.
Help you make more content.
For example.
Opus clips. Yeah. So you can use AI without actually making AI content. So I'd recommend learning how to use AI because you're probably going to want to increase the output at some point.
Yeah, probably.
Down the road, you might. Well, it's not that it's going to be more difficult. It's like once you have the tools in place to increase output, it makes it easier. So now you're no longer like, oh my God, this is going to take me 5 hours to edit. Now it might take 30 minutes or 15 minutes. Right. Or, I don't know, I'm going to take hours making this thumbnail. Well, here's 5.
There's already plugins that you can use. I know Ali Abdal put out one to where, I think it's called Autopod. To where basically it looks for the silences in your videos, and then you just hit the button, and then it removes all those silences. Them all out. So, like these types of things are already available and can help, when it comes to, workflow-related things as well.
Speed up your workflow.
Yep.
Learn how to use AI to increase your output and become more efficient.
Yep. Chat on the Road is our next question. They upload 1 time per week or more. They do travel and an exploring vlog. The question is, I know you don't usually do reviews on this channel, but I was wondering if you could take a look at least my thumbnails. I know the main idea is needed to create one, but it seems that when I get a good one, it looks different than the others, and there is no continuity in them. Is this bad? So let's go look at your channel and see what you got.
We're going to pull up a channel?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Okay, let me pull out this window here. Boom. Let's go full screen. And I was logged out, so I'm not using that. Let me turn that off. Okay.
Good job.
So let's see here. So
that's right. Who just said, Malcolm, I love this. Just say no to checking the box. Listen, there you go. Listen, if there's a campaign to get behind,
Yeah,
it's
too late. It's too late.
Listen. Do you want to be part of the listen?
Okay, so when it comes to your thumbnails,
hold on. Don't. How do I? If you're seeing this video, you are part of the resistance.
Oh, I love it.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
This is my last transmission. If you're watching this video,
so good.
the future of creators, human creators, might rely on you. You are the resistance if you're watching this video.
So let's see here. What I hit there, D. Let's see here. How do you get this back up?
You should have thought about that before you cut my transmission.
There we go. All right. So let's see here. So the thumbnails. Okay. So the very first thing that I want you to think about when it comes to your thumbnails is if we turn this off, right? If we would completely remove your titles. First, let's see what you're doing. Okay. The channel is about traveling to interesting places, taking tours, haunts, and exploring the world out there. Also to have a podcast where I talk with other YouTube creators. So come along and enjoy the show. Okay. So first, if we look at your thumbnails right here, we'll just come down here to this view as well. At a glance, because remember, your thumbnails are going to be the thing that helps you grab the attention of the people who are interested in your type of content.
I'm going to make you full screen just so okay. I mean, the layout, just so you can...
Yeah, sure. Clearly see everything.
Yeah.
So like if we use, for example, like this, this what is next thumbnail, right? So we make this big. So when it comes to this, like what about, actually let's do it without the title. So when it comes to this, what about this tells somebody that is interested in travel, which I think was a part of this. Yeah, interesting places, taking tours, things like that. What about this thumbnail says that, right? So what you want to think about is Wallace says D is funny sometimes. He's hilarious. Like you should hang out with D. He's like the funniest person I know. But it says what is next. So when you say what is next, this doesn't say anything to the people that are interested in your type of content, right? There's no clarity that this has anything to do about travel, you looking off to the side and being mysterious there. Like none of this has anything that explicitly tells somebody at a glance this might have something to do with traveling to interesting places or haunts or anything related to that. So when it comes to your thumbnails, the very first thing that I would work on is that. Now you do have some things, right? Like if we go to, actually all of this, like if I go to your videos tab, right? So if I'm here, we have Bison in Indiana. At least, that's at least you're going somewhere. You got Indiana in there. But here where we have, the Bison, this still doesn't have anything to do with like travel per se. It is like a little bit, out of the ordinary. When you see a bunch of faces on YouTube, then you see a Bison, probably going to stand out. But, trying to make it just crystal clear that this has something to do with travel would be advantageous for you. Now, another thing that I think is kind of working against you here is when it comes to this, you have Face to Face with a Bison, then I climbed a giant fire tower, the life of the struggles of a small content creator, and then the Ark of the Covenant stunning replica. So the problem, a bigger problem, I should say, that I think that you should be addressing with what it is that you're doing is this video right here, right? The life and struggles of a small YouTube creator. Okay, so this is for, actually, we're gonna make this one red because this is for, not for people that are interested in travel in any way. This one here, we're just gonna make this one gray because I'm not sure. I think so because you went to Indiana possibly for this one. And then here, the Ark of the Covenant, we're gonna say that is a not necessarily interested in, well, I guess it could be an interesting place, but not traveling to interesting places. Because here you're just talking about the Ark of the Covenant.
Unless you're Indiana Jones.
Unless you're Indiana Jones, right? And you're actually out there, trying to find this thing. Then that's also not on brand with what it is that you are offering here on the channel. So because of that, the very first thing that I would work on is getting clear. Same thing here, right? So this is also a no, right? Meet Twiggy, the amazing water skiing squirrel. So if this is, and all I'm leaning on here is your value proposition here of this channel is about traveling to interesting places, taking tours, haunts, and exploring the world that's out there, right? So with all of these things, like you're making this content for these different types of viewers. So the problem with this is it makes it difficult. So like, let's say, for example, if I come to your YouTube channel and I watch this Ark of the Covenant video, and I'm like, holy cow, this is the best video ever, especially on this topic because I love it. And then you publish this video on the bison. There's not a connection here from this video over to this video, right? Instead, it's like, okay, well, you watch this video, but then there's nothing else for you if you watch that video, right? So because of that, I think the thing that you need to work on more so than just the thumbnails is just the topics and just clarity on what it is that you're offering and who it is that you're offering it for, so that when you are publishing your videos, you can build your channel as a resource for a certain type of viewer that's interested in very specific things. That would be, that would be my thoughts on your channel for that feedback that you were looking for.
Oh, hold on. There you go.
So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, and that's tough starting out. Right? Like when you're starting out and you're trying to make your channel a destination. That can be really challenging because you're like every video becomes a struggle. Right. Because right. I like to think of videos sometimes when you're thinking about destinations, like like you're building a pathway, like you're putting stones out with every single video. Like you're building a path. Yep. Like I'm building a path with every single video where somebody can go to one. Think of it this way. If somebody wanted to binge watch your content, it needs to be interesting enough topically to where they want to watch video to video to video. It doesn't really have to be like perfectly like part 1, part 2, part 3, but it should at least have some general overlap. Like if you're a travel channel, then every video should have something about travel. Right. However you have to frame that.
Yeah, and one thing here, Davidson's All Natural Jim says, channel might do well in evergreen or search. It might. However, the problem there is like returning viewers and, binge watching and those types of things, right? So basically what you end up doing in that situation is creating an audience full of people that don't watch your videos, right? Because they found you in search, but then when you publish additional videos, they don't respond to those videos. So yeah, it can make it really challenging to grow any type of fan base at all when you are just pulling in random viewers that are interested in random topics from YouTube search or anywhere else on the platform. Next up, we've got Have You Laughed Today is the next channel.
Can I add one more thing to that really quick about the channel we pulled up?
Yeah.
So your videos are a bit of a mismatch based on what you say your channel is about. So you can do mixed matched content. You either need to reframe your videos or you need to reframe your channel. So you need to choose what your channel is going to be about. If you want to do a mix of content, you can do that. Yeah. But just like what Nick was saying, it's going to be more difficult to build a fan base because you're not going to have as many return viewers. But there's no, like I do that. Like I target search. My direct channel fan base isn't that large, but I'm okay with that. Right. Like I have a particular goal, right? I'm trying to, teach people how to do certain things. So depending on what your goals are, you can change what the target of your channel is, or you can change how you're putting your videos together. Yep. There's no right or wrong. It just depends on what your actual goal is. And one way is going to be a lot slower than the other. Yep. Significantly slower. Yep.
So Wallace Bankley says, how's TikTok going so far? So I'm slowly starting to pick up momentum over there. So when it comes to TikTok, like it's not my jam, so to speak. The content's good, but when it comes to that, I'm slowly starting to see like older videos are starting to pick up steam and things like that. So I think that I'm starting to slowly hit, and my subscriber base or follower base over there is starting to pick up a little bit, to where before I would log in like every few days and didn't get like any new followers. Now I get new followers every day, that kind of stuff. So it's starting to slowly pick up that momentum. It's still super small. Got like 100 and I think like 30 followers over there or something like that, maybe even less. So it's starting to pick up, but I'm in that place right now to where I'm starting to see a little bit of momentum. So it's progress. So, because I've been making content for so long, I understand the game in terms of like keep showing up and they'll keep, watching. So now that I have the vertical content thing figured out, I'm doing daily content across, the vertical platforms. Now my next thing is to also start publishing more long form content here, just because I've been distracted with the app and, the vertical content and all that. So now I'm pointing the attention back to the long form content here, just because there's a lot of content that I want to put out for you guys here as well for the long form side of things, and I'm starting to do more shorts on this channel too. Let's see here. So next up, have you laughed today? The goal of the channel is to make money. And the question is, can you take a quick look at my video thumbnails and title? Do they catch your attention and make you want to click? After watching the video, did it live up to what the thumbnail and title promised? What did you enjoy about the content, and what did you think could be improved? So we don't watch videos here during the live streams, and that's because of like copyright reasons. Like if I hit play, for example, like I don't know if if you have copyright protected music in there that maybe you paid for the rights or something like that, but I don't have them, and because of that, it can make it to where I can't. Like to where I'd get a, copyright claim or strike or, something like that. The one thing that I can tell you is I'm looking at your thumbnails, and it looks like some of these are AI generated. I think that, with your "Have you laughed today" in the text, I would definitely experiment with it, because you're focusing on branding. It's working, right? You're getting views, but you're focusing heavy on branding and not as much on imagery. So because of that, I would experiment with focusing on, or just A/B testing, because YouTube has that feature. Basically, A/B testing your thumbnails so that you can see, if that big panel of text that you have on every single thumbnail, if it's working for you or against you, might be working for you. But I would just double check that and just confirm that if you haven't. But yeah, I'm not watching videos just because, for obvious reasons for copyright. Next up, we've got Cooking with Shams. They upload 1 time per week or more. They have a food channel. The question is, I'm paying for ads to grow my channel. What can I do better? Stop paying for ads. Yep. So here's the problem. When you are paying for ads to grow your channel, as soon as you stop paying for the views or the activity on your channel, if you do not know how to get people to click on your videos and how to provide content that they're going to enjoy, then what's going to end up happening is YouTube's still going to recommend your content to some of those people, but if they don't respond to it, then you've wasted money. So because of that, I can't stress how important it is to, if you are going to do ads, which I still don't think you should, but if you are going to do ads, in my personal belief, you should only do ads on the channel if you have something to sell and you're going to be getting a direct return on investment. And even then, it's kind of shaky on if you should do them on your main channel or do them on a separate channel. So because of that, I recommend that you learn how to grow organically on YouTube. It usually takes longer, right, to get the activity, and that's usually why people buy ads, because they run out of patience before they run out of money, per se, or so to speak. So because of that, they just go for, ads, trying to shortcut the process of learning how to be a content creator and learning how to do all the things in a way that people respond to. So because of that, I recommend that you stop paying for ads immediately, and then from there, learn how to, make content for people that you're trying to reach. Muscle in the Mountains is our next channel. They do daily content. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time content creator. The question is, if I have a long form that's outperforming my average by a lot, should I let it run its course and to not stifle it? Or should I try to get another one out while it's still growing to piggyback on its success? And does any of this matter? So when it comes to long-term growth on YouTube and long-term performance, no. Like, a good video is going to be a good video. If you look around YouTube, you're going to see channels that will publish, a few videos per day, and all of their videos get lots of views, right? Now, in that situation, YouTube's going to have to prioritize, which video gets shown to the people that are the most engaged and, all that stuff. When you are publishing content to YouTube, the thing that matters is it a good video, or people are going to respond well to it? So if you have a cadence that you do and you're like, hey, I upload every, Wednesday and every Saturday, and that's my cadence, then just keep the cadence just like you normally would. So then that way you are, just continuing to, plug away, so to speak, at what it is that you're doing. But if you have a video that starts doing great on Wednesday and then you publish that video on Saturday, you might see a difference on that video that you published before in the immediate, because YouTube's got to prioritize that newer video at the time of publish, right? Because it's like, hey, new video, let's test it. But over the next 3 months, it won't have any impact whatsoever on that video that was published previously. Stanley Orchard in the house. What's up, dude? Hope you're doing great. Congratulations on publishing your book, Stanley. So Stanley's been working with creator companies for the last handful of years, and he just published a book called, I think it's called How to Grow on YouTube. He published it over to Amazon. So if you are interested in that, definitely go over and check it out. He has a lot of really good information, based on his experience working with some creator-focused companies. So next up, we've got Hidden Jackpots. I think we did one from Hidden Jackpots already. It says, there's such a thing as too many hashtags. Will YouTube not push my video if there are too many? I'm pretty sure the limit is 60 on YouTube. So I think if you have more than 60, they ignore them all. It used to be less, but now it's up to 60 hashtags. And the idea when it comes to hashtags is, those are hashtag results pages that you can get views from. So that's, why people will put them in there. But yeah, 60 is your limit. Andrew Can says, want to learn how to make better YouTube videos. Keep watching and implementing what you learned from Nick. Thank you for the super chat, Andrew, and the kind words, my dude. I appreciate it. Next up on our list here, and hey, I sent you a message, Andrew, I think on Discord yesterday. Next up, we've got 9 Go Hard. They upload every other day, but on YouTube for a year or more. They do a lifestyle vlog. And the question is, should I delete the firearms content from channel 1 and re-upload to channel 2, or keep it on channel 1 and then add the content to channel 2? Okay, so 9 makes sense now. And let me just kind of see what you're doing. So the rule of thumb is, hold on. Welcome to my daily vlog adventure. Join me as I take you on a solo journey through the exciting world of OTR trucking, intense workouts, thrilling BMX rides, and quality family time on my off days. Okay, so this is just a personal vlog. So if it's just a personal vlog, then you can upload, like these are fine because most of these are about trucking. You do have this content here about the, Glock and, that kind of stuff. So you can still make that type of content, but it looks like this is more focused content. So for example, you have your vlogs, and then you do have this firearm content, which is more about those. So in my experience, I would put those on a separate channel. And anytime that you made videos about that, I would put them over there. And the reason for that is because people that are watching that content may or may not be interested in your trucking experiences, and the people that are watching the trucking experiences may or may not be interested in that content. So I think that you might be kind of splitting things up a little bit. And when it comes to vlogs, like there's nuance in vlogs, and this is why it's important to make sure that you're being intentional with everything you do, that you know why you're doing it when it comes to YouTube. So there are even like nuances in when it comes to vlogs. Like for example, I've worked with family channels before in the past where when the husband was on camera, those videos typically did less. Like
when the husband was on?
Yeah, when the husband was on. So basically it was a family channel, and it was mostly focused around the wife and kids, but the husband would come on occasionally, and people just didn't get into the husband as much. So the purpose of that channel wasn't necessarily to blow it up per se. It was to kind of grow their brand as a family with an emphasis on her. And the family was just kind of like an extra, kind of pillar of content there. So the conversation we had to have was, okay, people are not responding as well to this, and some of the content with the kids as well. So we're like, okay, the viewers aren't responding as well to this. So since they're not responding as well to this, and you're aware of that now, what do you want to do moving forward? And if the goal is to simply just grow the channel, then in that case, it's more strategic to, remove him from the content. But because it's a family channel, they're using it to archive their family while also growing the personal brand thing around the family and the one person, then it made sense to keep him on, even though those videos just didn't do as well. So in that case, they had to look at it as a bigger, like the thing as a whole, instead of looking at it as like, okay, well, these videos aren't doing as well, so we just X them out like you do in some cases. So that's why it's important, like especially when you're doing content like you're doing, to just make sure that you're looking at it through the lens of like, okay, what is it I'm trying to do, right? And Gator's Golden Coin says, poor dad. Yeah, well, the thing is like when it comes to, YouTube, though, like I wasn't even saying, and I wasn't going to say, don't show up in the videos. I was just like, hey, I'm just letting you know, by looking at your stats and grouping everything and all that, it looks like, people just aren't responding as well, for all of the videos that you're in. So that, is a pretty good sign that, people watch them, but they just didn't respond as well, right? So it's a sign that you had to, just take that into consideration. Next up, we got Fear Oracle. They upload 1 time per week or more. The goal of the channel is to quit your job and be a full-time creator. And the question is, are there any YouTube help courses that are actually worth the money? Dee and I are making one right now,
yes, we are.
actually. But if you can, suggest the top 3 that you'd recommend that have actually helped many creators in the past, please. Thank you for always helping me with small channels. So the very first thing that I would do, if you are looking for courses, is I would go and watch videos of the people that are making those courses and see if you resonate with their teaching style. And that's super important. And the reason it's important is because you might go into one course and the way they explain things and, you know, all of that, it just doesn't make any sense. To where you go into another one and the way things are explained, you're like, oh yeah, it makes total sense. I totally get it, and all of that. So because of that, I would actually, you know, if you look for anything on, you know, like how to grow on YouTube, anything like that, you're going to run into courses for almost every one of them. And because of that, you know, there's a lot of offerings out there. So the one thing that I would do is I would lean more on just how they explain things. In addition to that, like if you're new, you can't really look at them and see, you know, like, are they sharing like accurate stuff or not? But one thing that you can do though is, when it comes to YouTube, there are like general best practices. And when it comes to, you know, growth, there are, you know, more advanced things or more, you know, fine tuning that you can do. But at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to be sharing a lot of similar information. Yeah. So you might need to, depending on the course that you take multiple. So like some courses are, you know, just about optimization. Some courses are just about SEO. Some courses are just about storytelling. Some courses are, you know, more focused on serving your target avatar. So, you know, there's all these different offerings that are out there that are more specific like that as well. So you might need to go through, you know, multiple. But the very first place I would start though would be to make sure that you resonate with the person that's sharing the information, so that you can you know, ingest everything that they're saying. One place to start is Roberto Blake has a group called Awesome Creator Academy. It's like a group coaching type of thing. You might want to check that out. It's at awesomecreatoracademy.com. On the high end, I think it's like somewhere around like $6,000 for the one I'm getting ready to mention, but it's pretty detailed. It's Daryl Eves' course called Channel Jumpstart. You can find that at channeljumpstart.com. You also have Ed from Film Booth. I would also, you know, recommend him because he knows what he's doing and he explains things well, in my opinion. Nate Black, I believe, has cohorts that he does. I don't think he has a full-blown course yet, but I know that he gets results from people that he trains. And Marcus Jones also has a course as well. And let's see here. I know Brian G. Johnson had one, but I'm not sure if he still does. So Brian, if you are still here, let me know on that. And yeah, I don't think Daniel does. Yeah. So, and Primal Video Academy. So Primal Video Academy, like if you're a new content creator, I think that one's also a good fit. And the reason for that is it's not just like strategy and all of that, but it's also kind of like what Dee and I are doing, to where you have that stuff in there because it's important too. But then there's also like all of the other things that you have to learn, because when it comes to a content creator, there's all of the strategy stuff. And once you hear a lot of that, you know, you can kind of repeat it. But when it comes to applying it to what it is that you're doing, that's a whole other thing. And with the Primal Video Academy, they kind of help you with that. I think Roberto does some of that as well. And then the one that we're working on, we're going to be doing a lot of that as well. Yeah, and Kristen says Video Ranking Academy at Think Media. Yeah, that's another good one, but that particular one, video ranking, is more about like search-based content when it comes to YouTube. But yeah, they know what they're doing over there, and that's also everything they put out is good. So yeah, Video Ranking Academy, but that, since it is more search-based in that case, if you do make search-targeted content, then you know that might also be a really good solution for you. Yeah, so much good stuff out there. Yeah, from a lot of like really experienced creators. Yeah. So next up, we got Yasik Says. They have been making videos for less than 6 months. Type of channel is life and money development for first-generation wealth builders. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time creator. And the question is, recently my external hard drive crashed and I lost all my content. Ooh, my next video gone. This has halted my momentum big time. This happened to me when I first started my channel.
Yeah, from the bike accident.
Which is bad because I'm a small channel who's just getting started. Question, how do I get back on that horse? just start making content, right? Fortunately, you publish videos and then
Quit
you had
crying
this
about
issue.
it on the internet. You just go hit record and you make another video. That's what you do. No.
Yeah. So go and make some videos. And you say, should I do short? Should I do lives? I just feel like doing long form's taking me so long. So, do it anyway, right? Like if you're wanting to build a channel based on long form content, then make the long form content, right? Think about what you're trying to do. Think about what you want. Think about what you want to offer, and then make that content. Don't like the thing that I want to recommend is don't just make it because it's easy. Like make it because it's what you want to make, what you think is the best to make for what you enjoy and what you want to offer, and for what is going to be the best at helping you achieve whatever goals that you have for the channel, right? So instead of looking at it like, is this easy or hard? Look at it like, okay, which thing do I enjoy? Which thing is going to be a better fit for the people that I'm trying to reach? Which thing is going to be the best for the offer that I'm trying to provide, or the value that I'm trying to provide? And which one of these, or maybe all of them, are going to help me deliver this in a way that's also going to help me achieve my my goals when it comes to YouTube.
Yeah, so this is a lesson for everyone in here, because if you haven't had a hard drive fail yet, you will.
Oh, yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
Everyone in here, at some point, if you haven't yet, you will have a hard drive fail.
Yep. Yeah, I lost 10 fully edited videos.
10 fully edited videos. Yeah, at some point, you will have a hard drive fail.
And the content.
Yeah. It's guaranteed. Guaranteed. I don't know when, but it will happen.
Yep.
So I cannot urge you enough to have a second hard drive that you back things up on, even if it's a manual backup, or back things up to the cloud, Google Drive, Dropbox, something like that.
Yep.
So if you're like, okay, well, here's my videos, and I've already shot these videos, I don't want to lose them. Okay, well, then put them in 2 places.
Yep.
And actually, people talk about, if you really want to back stuff up, put it in 3 places.
Yep.
But I always either put stuff on a second drive. If it's really important, I'll put it on a second drive, or I'll upload it to the cloud somewhere, Dropbox or Google Drive, because it will crash. At some point, you are going to lose a hard drive. It is guaranteed.
Yep.
Guaranteed. And I hate to like jinx you that way, but it's just the way it is.
It is sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just the way it is.
It's the way it is.
At some point. Yeah. Cloud service, external hard drive. Even if the second hard drive isn't let's say you have like a 4 terabyte main external hard drive.
Yeah.
Well, your second hard drive could just be like a 1 terabyte, and it's only backing up videos that you're working on. It's like, I haven't uploaded these yet, so I just want to make sure these don't get lost. However you need to do it, figure it out.
So Homekeeping Channel, thanks for the super chat. It says, thank you so much for the new app. I just downloaded it. Also, thanks for downloading it. There's a form in there. So basically on your homepage, right up in the top right-hand side, that's where it creates the QR code for your channel. You can also create, like if you go to conferences or you just want to add a wallpaper to your phone or something, you can create another QR code there that you can just screen cap and make it your wallpaper or whatever. I did this when I went to Social Media Marketing World. It was awesome for just being like, hey, here's my LinkedIn or, whatever, to where you just have it, right there without having to open your app or anything. But yeah, glad you enjoyed it. If you have feedback, right next to that QR code generator, there's also a little icon next to that. Click onto that, and then there's like a feedback thing in there. So make sure that if you have any ideas for it, if there's anything to where you're like, hey, it'd be better if it worked like this or whatever, just let me know. Because I'm trying to make it the best that I possibly can for all of us. So thank you for installing it. Feel free to give feedback, and make sure anybody that's installed it, make sure you go and give it some stars also. But says, I just completed the form. Hope you get a chance to read my question, as I'm a bit late today, and one all creators need to hear about. Ooh, interesting. Uh-oh. April G. McKinley, thank you for the super chat as well. So yeah, so I'll see. With our forum, we're kind of trucking along. So it's going to be kind of 50-50 if we get there or not. But I might jump to, like if maybe for the last question or something, I might kind of look for that one if we haven't gotten to it yet. So next up, we have JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia. They do travel content. The question is, my Google YouTube advisor wants me to create a membership. So I did. Loaded a few older videos in there, so there's something there. My question is, what should I put in the membership only that would be a value for the cost? Same question for a new website that I'm planning on launching this year. So what you want to think about is why people come to your YouTube channel. Yeah. And if you can provide more of that through your membership, then, that's a great place to do it. So, some things people do is some people will upload additional content. Some people will have exclusive streams. Some people will have communities like I do. Some people will offer like additional things in terms of like, hey, we game together, like if they're a gamer, that kind of stuff. So just think about, okay, like why are people watching my content? What do they, get out of my content? What kind of feedback do I get? That kind of thing. And then try to build some stuff around that. Let's see here. Next up.
How are we doing on questions?
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
How are we looking up at the leaderboard? What do we got here?
So right now on the leaderboard, Wiggy disappeared, unfortunately.
Wiggy tapped out.
Yeah, had it at the top. Like I was like, yeah, they might get it here.
Well, you know what Wiggy was? Wiggy was that person running a marathon who got cocky.
It was like, oh yeah, I got this.
And then
yeah.
I got this, and they weren't paying attention. That people were just like coming up on their tail. And then they just like got passed.
So here we go on the leaderboard. So Learn Spanish World's currently number 1.
Right.
The Dr. Vibe Show's number 2. Chantel's number 3. Then Doug.
Muy bien.
Then Malcolm Planet. Then Scale Train Station. Then Monique. Then Dang. Then Jerry. Then Home Rapid Repair. April. And so on. Pocket Creator. Brian G. K&J Lumber. Yeah. So that's where we are currently at.
I'm in there.
Are you?
I'm on the list.
Oh, yeah, you are. Yeah. Yep. So you are at 125 experience points.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is rigged.
Yeah, might be.
I left like 3 comments.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Not sure.
Great.
Yeah, I didn't see Valentine Station there. Valentine Station's been commenting, and I didn't see them. I'm not sure exactly. Oh, yeah, there they are right there. Yeah, so they're matching yours, D.
Okay, there we go.
So next up we got Smith Media Outdoors. They do edutainment content. The goal of the channel is to be a full-time creator. And the question is, my content isn't like most others in my niche. I'm trying to determine if it's a style thing or a personality that slows acceptance of my videos. I know that I have a consistency problem, but if I make a video, let's say about camping, and from the start to finish, there's limited to no talking in the video. Basic walking and finding a spot, setting up the equipment, starting a fire, cooking a meal, watching the fire, going to bed, getting up in the morning, disassembling everything and walking out. Limited music, no talking, and I take the same video and then I edit it back in the talking parts where I'm explaining things. I use graphics on the screen to help interpret what I'm explaining, and use sound effects and music that's similar to but different from other original videos of which the video is a basis of, and I post it on a different channel. Does that make those two separate and distinct pieces of content, or will YouTube kick that back and disallow it? Yeah, you can put different content on different channels. So what you're doing there is you're making a kind of like an ASMR version, and then you're making a version where you have a voice over, telling a story. So that is 2 completely different offerings there, even though they look the same. Because of that, you're giving 2 totally different offerings there. So you should be good on that. And also, like, the only real risk there is you really putting copyright against yourself, right? But you're giving 2 totally different offerings there. Next, we've got Gross Bros Parodies. They upload when they have time. The goal is to have fun. And the question is, just getting back into song parodies after a 6-year break, want to do shorts. What's your opinion on releasing 3 shorts for 3 days in a row every weekend, which is when my audience is most online, or should I space them out? Yeah, if your audience is online at that time, give them, experiment with it and upload when they are, online the most, so that when you publish that, they are likely to see it. And give it to them while they're online. But when it comes to, or a little bit before in some cases, but basically when you are doing that, if you find that there's most activity on your channel during the weekend, then absolutely, you can publish it for them on the weekend. There isn't a rule in terms of like, I have to do it on like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday or anything like that. Like if you're like, hey, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that's when my people are most online, then by all means, it's perfectly fine to publish there and then get the lull afterwards, or just kind of ride it out until the next week based on those videos. That's perfectly fine. Next, Surtur is our next channel. They've been on YouTube for less than 6 months. It's a gaming channel. The goal is to quit their job and be a full-time creator. And the question is, I've heard recently that creators can get the most views on their videos that they gave the least amount of attention to. I often struggle with perfectionism, and it slows down my upload amount when it comes to videos. So really quick. So we kind of joke about that, and that does happen. But on the other side of that story, there's a lot of content creators that don't put much attention in their videos, and they don't get any response because of it, right? Yeah. So because of that, it's not like hey, I just put out videos and didn't put much attention to it, so it's going to do better. It's it just happens to work out that way sometimes, right? So it doesn't always work that way.
I can't speak for everyone, But for people who have been making content for a long time, like even though like I think my channel has been around as of last month, I believe it was
7 years, I think. Yeah.
7 years. But I've been making content and working with cameras and graphic design for over 20 years. Mm-hmm. So I have a significant history of this stuff. So when you have someone who, and even if you've been doing it for like 5 years or whatever, you've done the reps, you've put in the work, you have an understanding. If you've reached any level of whatever you've defined as success on YouTube, you have an understanding of what to do. So when people with a little bit of experience says, I didn't put much work into it, that means you still fell into a default status, but you still have experience, right? Like even if a professional painter doesn't do their best work, it's still
probably going to be,
it's still going to be better than a lot of people who don't know how to paint.
Right.
You know, it's kind of the same idea. So when you hear people say, well, yeah, I didn't put much work into that and it did really well. Usually,
it's not encouragement to put in low effort. So
right, exactly. It's not saying don't put in the work. You have to put in your reps, and by putting in your reps, you get good. So when you do default into like, I didn't put much work into it, it's still an all right video.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put in the reps. And look, man, uploading to YouTube is tough. It's a grind.
Yeah, they're just getting started. Like they got two videos on the channel. One was a month ago, one's 3 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So here's what I recommend. So you say that perfectionism is getting in the way, is part of the rest of your comment here. You say that,
and I understand that.
Yeah, you say that you know, I will often get an idea and it'll take me a while to jump into it because of all the details. I feel like I have to get almost right. How should I constantly upload to gain success? You need to practice. So Dee just mentioned putting in the reps. You need to practice. Right now you have 2 videos.
Yeah.
Right now, like you shouldn't be thinking about perfectionism or any of that stuff. You should be thinking, okay, this is as good as I can do right now within reason, and I'm going to, you know, publish this video so that I can see how people respond to it, so that I can make adjustments along the way. Because what you think is good, because you don't have experience yet, you only have 2 videos.
You don't know what's
so
good
you yet. You don't know what to be a perfectionist about yet. Right? You have your personal opinions in terms of like, hey, this is what I like in videos, and sometimes that's plenty. But you know, sometimes you also might just need a lot more experience before you can, you know, become more of a perfectionist with what it is that you're doing. So because of that, I would set hard deadlines for yourself. So what I mean is say, okay, for the next, you know, 6 months, maybe even a year, no matter what, I'm going to make sure that I publish a video every whatever that cadence is. If it's every week, if it's every day, if it's, you know, every 2 weeks, whatever it is, no matter what happens, I'm going to make sure that I publish a video in these times. And then you hold yourself accountable. Then that's how you get over the perfection. So I deal with a little bit of that too. And that's the way that I make myself do stuff. Is I hold myself accountable to it, and I'm like, okay, well, you know, I have to do this, because if I don't, then I'm going to give myself a hard time about it in my own brain. So therefore, to reduce the amount of torture that I give myself, I have to make sure that I'm doing stuff in order to, you know, just kind of, you know, reduce that self beating myself up in my own brain thing that happens. So yeah, just get the reps in, start practicing. And another thing too is right now time is an issue for you in terms of how long it takes to make content. You made 2 videos. You don't know what you're doing yet. So the more you practice, the more you're going to find systems that are going to help you do things faster. The more familiar you're going to get with your video editing software, the more familiar you're going to get with whatever software you're using to make your thumbnails, the more efficient you're going to get at everything the more that you do it, because you're going to be being like, oh, okay, now I know where to go to make this thing happen. Now if I'm going to animate this, I know where to go to do it. Now I have all of these assets that I've created that I can just drag into my video files when I need arrows going across screens, or I need this thing to zoom in, or whatever the thing is. So do the reps, publish content, and get out of your own way, right? Because we all do that. We just stand in our own way, and we're like, everything's got to be this way, and that can be like the biggest thing that just destroys everything for you, is just standing your own way. So get out of your own way, and start putting in reps and hold yourself accountable.
I want to add a little bit more to that.
Deadlines.
I agree with every single word he just said.
But,
however, it's
a better choice of words.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. However, there is another way to do that. If you have this perfectionism in your head and you're thinking, okay, I have this grand project and this is my channel and it's going to mean so important. It's so important that every video is going to matter, and this just has to be perfect. An alternative is to create another channel and put your reps in on that other channel about something else. I had a test channel. Now, keep in mind, I come from a history of video and editing and photography and everything else. but I'd never been on YouTube before. So before I created my first YouTube channel, which is, well, my main YouTube channel, I should say, I created a test YouTube channel, and I made 20 videos. I think I got like 500 and something subscribers on it. But I made 20 videos to learn the process of YouTube. Okay, I want to learn how to make thumbnails. I need to learn how all this stuff works together. So that wasn't necessarily something that I wanted to learn about production because I already had an idea. But I wanted to learn how YouTube worked as a system, how everything was interconnected, how to read the analytics. I didn't want to mess up my main channel that needed to be so important, right? So I put in the reps on a test channel. I made 20 videos, and I thought, okay, I understand YouTube enough to actually move over to my main channel. So if you don't want to, I dare say, pollute this important project that you think that has to be perfect, do your reps someplace else. So then when you are ready, you can go to your main channel and start doing it there. So you can do it his way, which is perfectly fine. You can learn in public, or you can learn on another channel and then bring your skills over later. There's two paths to that.
Yeah, other things too.
Choose
like
one, whichever
out of
one
these
works
two
for you.
videos, one video is 1 minute and 22 seconds long, and it's a gameplay video.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, like you're definitely standing in your own way. This next one that I'm looking at right here, it's a 16-minute video, and I'm just kind of looking to see what it is that you're doing. Yeah, it doesn't even look like you're editing these videos. So yeah, you're just standing in your own way. Get out of your own way. Like
get out of your head, man. You're in your own head.
Like you know, unless there's something I'm overlooking here, which is definitely possible. Get out of your own way. Yeah, it looks like you're just playing the game. You're not adding any like additional graphics here. You know, you might be doing commentary under it. I can't hear it. Let me look at the transcript real quick. Yeah. So you are doing commentary underneath it. Get out of your own way. Like I think you're making it harder on yourself than it needs to be. And I think the best thing that you can do right now is just set yourself to a deadline and just make sure you keep showing up for that deadline, and that's going to force you to like learn how to do it, you know, more efficiently. I'm going through this right now too, trying to publish more content. Like it's just in a different way, right? Trying to publish more content, trying to get my weekly output to 100 pieces of content per week, and right now I'm up to about 30. Go up from like 1.5 essentially. Right. So I'm making progress on it, but I'm still not there yet. But the things that I'm, you know, having to, you know, figure out along the way is, you know, how to, you know, do everything a little bit more efficiently so I can make it possible. So in order to do that, I also have to get out of my own way as well. And I recommend that you do the same because, you know, if you are going to be uploading consistently with the type of content that you're doing, right now, I think it's more about, you know, not knowing what to do than it is, you know, that it has to be perfect, right? And what I mean by that is, you know, the editing software and, you know, all of those things. Just get out of your own way. That's the best advice that I have.
Yeah, and another piece to that, and this is for everyone in here, the audience doesn't care if it's perfect.
Right.
The audience doesn't.
I mean, it's got to be good. It's got to be competitive.
It's got to be good, but it doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
It just has to be something they can relate to. You know, humanity isn't perfect. We're not perfect. Right. Humans are sloppy. Humans are messy. Right? So
here's something for you.
So it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good enough.
And it can be.
And relatable. Has to be relatable.
So there's a podcast, and I always forget the name of it, but it's like, I think he's like a British guy. So I was watching an interview with him, and they are so particular about everything in their podcast, but he's got like a humongous podcast for entrepreneurs. But basically, they are so particular about their podcast that they even pump oxygen into the room. So they pump oxygen into the room. Everything has to be like a certain temperature, like all of these things. And this is all based on like what they've uncovered about like efficiency and about like how people like respond to things, about what makes people comfortable for when they're interviewing guests and all these things. And they make everything perfect and it's worked out for them. But, you know, they had to go through the process of getting things to that point, right?
Yeah, I'm not saying that that's the wrong way to do it, but that kind of gives me vibes. Who's that guy, Brian something or other?
Oh, the Eternal Life guy?
The Eternal Life guy. Yeah. I kind of get vibes like that, right? He's like 50 something years old, and he doesn't look a day over 51. You know what I mean? He's like spending like billions of dollars a year trying to not die or whatever.
Yeah, and Chantel says that's some serious work. It is.
It is.
But you know, he's getting rewarded for it as well. You know, like
what
I'm sure.
What podcast is this?
I can't remember the name of it. It's constantly popping up all over the place, but I just can't remember the name off the top of my head. But he's a younger guy. He's like British. I can't remember the.
He's just making it comfortable work environment.
Well, no, it's not just that. Like they're that detailed about every aspect of the show. Yeah,
okay.
From the questions they're asking to like those environments to the colors they're using, like everything about it.
But they didn't have a memorable name.
Right.
So can't hit them. You can't win them all.
Right. At least it's somebody with a memory like mine. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Couldn't come up with a memorable name.
So next up, we've got Ranking Guy TV, does daily content, but on YouTube for less than 6 months. The question is, I wanted to know how I can transform my channel more, or should I transform shorts to long form, and will it affect my algorithm? So what you need to think about is you need to think about the viewers that are interacting with your content. Don't think about YouTube's algorithm. Think about the people that are interacting with your videos. Are they having a good experience? When you publish videos to your YouTube channel, if you publish a video today and you publish a video tomorrow, are the people that watch the video today likely to go and watch the videos that you make tomorrow, right? And if the answer is yes, then you're fine. When it comes to what was more of this question here. Yeah, transforming your shorts into long form. Because you are doing this like AI content for shorts and you're doing great here, your viewers might want long form content from you too. With what you're doing here with like the alien videos and stuff, like this is like really interesting. It looks like you might be using like syllabi maybe for some of this, which is cool. But when it comes to this, like people respond to this kind of stuff in long form too. So you're getting attention when it comes to YouTube Shorts, and your videos are grabbing attention when they just show up to people. When it comes to long form content, you're also going to have to learn how to make thumbnails and things like that, which you can really just kind of do what it is that you're doing, because you're already doing some of this well on the shorts, but do what you're already doing there, but just make it for long form. So yeah, I would experiment with it and see how it goes on the channel. So just a quick thing. So, like I mentioned, like you're doing, okay on some of your shorts. Good, actually, on a lot of these shorts. But when it comes to long form, you'll be able to make more money with less views too. So I don't know if you're doing this for money as a side thing. But if you are, then in that case, I would definitely incorporate long form content too. Next. We've got the Pocket Creator. I don't see her question in here.
What?
So we have the Pocket Creator. They do YouTube education. And the question is a new creator trying to help other new busy creators grow with me, not from an expert lens, but a fellow learner? What's a good way to stand out from the polished expert channels?
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Like, when it comes to like polished expert channels, like there's also like expert channels that, take a more casual approach as well in terms of how they put it all together. So instead of thinking about it like I'm trying to like compete with these people, I would think about it like, okay, I'm trying to add value to people that like the way that I do it. So what that does is that gives you the opportunity. I think I actually got recommended one of your videos actually here, but basically the whole thing is to think about like I'm trying to make content in a way to where people who like things like I like are going to respond well to this. So like, for example, I see you're having one where you're like talking about things from, and it looks like you're outside, like some people like that kind of stuff. There's actually somebody making videos right now called Rob the Maritimer. He does a lot of outside content like that, and people, respond well to some of it. He just talks about YouTube while he's on a walk. So when it comes to resonating with people, it's going to come down to your personality. And then you're also going to still have the same rules in terms of, you need to go into your audience retention report, see how your videos are comparing against other videos of similar length, making sure that, you're tuning in your thumbnails, that kind of stuff. Like, for example, this DJI mic mini versus budget mic video, like your thumbnail needs lots of work here. So just like learning, those types of things, I would focus on that right now. And then you are going to be the element that stands out. So I would focus on, the skill side, and I would focus on, just being yourself through the content. And here's the thing, because you are just getting started with this, like make sure, I'm not even going to say that. So yeah, just focus on those things. Yeah, I don't see.
You have to roll something back there?
Yeah, I don't see her comment here. She mentioned that she left a comment here in the form, but I don't see it. Hold on, let me scroll down here. Homekeeping channel, if you're still here, I don't see your comment in the form. Oh, unless you did it, unless you put it in the actual app form. That's possible. Yeah, because I don't see it in the actual.
Oh, that's going to get confusing. You
Yeah.
Be careful with the form stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on real quick. Let me just kind of check and see. Okay, no, it's not there either. So yeah, so not sure. Yeah, because I don't see it in the forum. So if you are still here, just mention it in the chat, and then we'll take it from there, or just go put it into the forum. But West of Neverland is our next channel here. They do Disney history and education. The goal of the channel is to make money. And really quick, before I mention the question here for this particular channel, just a quick reminder, if you are just joining the stream, I recently put out a app for new content creators. I have it pinned at the very top of the chat right now. I've also got a link to it down in the video description. You can find it at newcreator.app. It's for iPhone users. It also works with your iPad as well. So make sure that you do check that out. All kinds of helpful stuff for you as a creator. You can get feedback on your thumbnails. It'll help you stay organized with your content. It'll help you come up with video ideas and organize those video ideas in a way that makes sense in terms of these are live streams, these are shorts, these are this, here's the details for those, and so on. So make sure you check it out. It's available in the App Store now. So yeah, give it a shot. Okay, so she's still here. Good. So yeah, I don't see your question here in the form. Because I've got like 2 questions here, and I don't see 2 more questions, and I don't see yours there. So if you could add it in there so that I can make sure to answer it.
Add it again.
So let's see here. So West of Neverland is the channel here, the New Disney History Education. And the question is, I posted 3 videos starting with 0 subscribers over the last 3 weeks. My last video has only 20 views. And I think my thumbnail titles and hooks are good, but they just aren't getting in front of viewers. Can you critique one of my videos and offer suggestions? I think these should be fairly high SEO topics. So let me just take a quick look.
Take a gander.
A gander. I'm just going to see what you're doing here real quick. Real quick like.
Yep. You're looking at the actual video?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so dive into the magical history of Walt Disney.
Disney Channel.
How Disney's vault. Okay, so you got 3 videos. So yeah, so I wouldn't worry about it too much right now. So your thumbnails make it clear that this has something to do with Mickey Mouse / Disney. So you're doing the right thing there. When it comes to, let me read your question again real quick. Okay, 20 views. Yeah, so it's probably... Yeah, it's probably the content itself right now, or it's possible that because here you have like making of Mickey Mouse's Barn Dance. So there's other things too in terms of like, how many people right now when you publish this video, would be interested in this particular topic at that moment in time. So when things like that come into play, there might be a lot of people, maybe not, but that's where, videos might take some time. So right now you have 3 videos. What I would focus on right now is, just making more content. And yes, you are going to have to, pay attention to things like you're already doing along the way. So you're doing the right thing there. And you also are filling out your descriptions, those types of things. So right now, I would definitely, just keep trucking. And you mentioned about search. So one thing when it comes to search is that it takes time. So when it comes to the recommendation system, YouTube just recommends your videos, puts them in front of people, and you can grow really quick with the recommendation system. But when it comes to search, you can grow quick from search too once your videos show up there consistently, but you still have to wait for people to look for what it is that you're talking about. So because of that, you have to consider like how many people right now, since you published this video on May 29th for this video that I'm looking at here, how many people right now are looking around for how Disney's vaudeville route shaped Mickey Mouse, right? So, consider that when you are looking for topics. So there's a tool that will help you with search. There's actually 2. Actually, Tube Spanners is still in refinement, but that one is going to be way better soon in terms of helping you just, find search volume for things. But there's a current tool called vidIQ that can actually help you look for search volume. And with the search volume, the whole idea there is to make sure that when you are search optimizing your videos, that you're optimizing your videos for things that people are proven to be interested in at a certain scale, right? So, so make sure that you are using something like that. You can use autocomplete and just answer questions out of there and answer things related to Disney out of there. That's perfectly fine. But the tools that show you search volume can be really valuable in making sure that you're making the right topics, that you're competing for the right things that will bring you solid visibility over time.
Mixed. We still have some more questions?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Deli file. I don't know if I like skipped. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Skip one?
No, like yeah, the homekeeping channel is just not in there. Okay, it says, did you hear about Google Lens coming to Shorts? Yeah, we talked about that at the beginning of the stream. It says this allows viewers to know the actual location of where the video has been made and possibly live. Bad idea for creators like me. Yeah, there are safety concerns with stuff like that.
That was my thought too.
When it comes to all the location stuff that YouTube does, I'm not a huge fan of it because it can be helpful for viewers, but on the flip side of that, if you are somebody that is concerned with personal, safety and things like that, those things can out you in terms of, where you're at. So, how that works in Lens, to my understanding, is that as a creator, you can stop it and you can circle something, you can get information, about that thing, and then, you go from there. Not necessarily the viewers being able to stop it and then circle it and get information about that thing. If viewers start being able to do that, then yeah, the red flags are definitely going to fly on that one, in terms of, people being able to, find people's locations and stuff like that, because some of the location things that they do, they frame it around like landmarks and things like that, which is, that's honest. But at the same time, if you're somebody that's concerned about security and then they're like, hey, this is recorded by this landmark, then it's like, oh, well, I didn't want people to know that I was, by that, even though, I was in a coffee shop that was nearby, right? Like, I'm not sure exactly
how detailed.
Right. like exactly what triggers that.
You're in this coffee shop, which is 0.5 kilometers from this landmark.
Right.
Like,
and
don't tell them that.
Right. And then like 20 of your videos are like, hey, here's this, they're near this landmark all the time. And then that can help people kind of, know where you're at. So yeah, I think that it's, all the location stuff. I'm just not a huge fan of it. I mean, in most cases it's fine, but if you're somebody that cares about privacy, then, it's definitely something of concern. And you have to make sure those types of things are turned off.
Doug says they won't allow it to identify people.
Yeah.
No. They probably won't, but I bet they're going to take it right to the line.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the age we're living in.
Yeah, the location stuff, they already do that.
Right.
Yeah,
they're going to take it. All these. Listen, let me just say this. If you are making content outside, you are already taking a risk of being identified.
Yes.
People trying to figure out landmarks, they can screenshot it and throw it into Google Lens.
Right. There's other ways to do it.
There are other ways to identify you. So privacy is a concern. Like, hey, man, I don't really like the idea of somebody being able to identify me walking around.
Right.
Don't walk around.
Don't walk around, right.
Or be very, very intentional with where you do walk around.
Yeah.
To where people can't identify landmarks.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where we are living in a digital age where everything is being tracked. They're monitoring everything across social media. All these apps, they're taking all of our data, logging IP addresses. They know the devices we're logging. They know everything about us. Yep. So if you want to, be private, then you need to be mindful about the information that you actually put out there in the first place.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Yeah. And really quick, Ranking Guy says, do you recommend availing vidIQ? So when it comes to YouTube tools, I think that YouTube tools are definitely available, definitely helpful. If you know how to use those tools. vidIQ is one of the good YouTube tools. So when it comes to all of them, because I use tools too, I recommend that people check out tools. And if they see features in there to where they're like, yeah, this is something that's going to help me, and it's within your budget, things like that, then use those tools. So like when it comes to things that can help you do better or understand something more, then it makes sense to use those things, right? If you need them. So yeah.
So we have a note in the chat here from Notes from Me to You. It says, I'm 75.
Nice.
Not tech savvy. Have started a YouTube channel.
All right.
Welcome to YouTube.
Yeah.
I've only used my phone, no editing, no thumbnails. I'm getting views, but not many subscribers. I've only been on here since April 17th. So you've been on here just a little over a month.
Yeah.
Welcome to YouTube.
Yeah.
Listen, at this stage, don't worry about the subscribers at this point. Put all of your energy into making videos and packaging your videos. You say you're not making thumbnails, and I'm not looking at your channel here, but make sure you're writing titles and make sure people are coming in and watching your videos. Focus on that, because what's going to happen is you're just getting started. I don't know how many videos you have up there, but over a period of time, when you have enough content on your channel, if you're making videos where people can actually find your videos, right, depending on your titles and how you put them together, and people are finding your videos and your channel is growing organically, the subscribers are going to come. But since you're new to YouTube, understand that while subscribers do unlock certain features, and you do need a certain level of subscribers to get into the partner program, etc., at a certain point, they become a vanity metric. So you can have hundreds of thousands of subscribers on a channel and still not get very many views. So try to focus on it. I don't know if you're looking in your analytics yet. I don't know. Do you have videos on teaching people about returning viewers?
I don't think so.
So I would look at your videos, go into your analytics, just at a base level, and look at your audience retention report. It will show you a graph of where people are leaving your video. And there's other data that will show you how many of those people are coming back to your other videos, right? Or are people coming back to watch additional videos? I would focus on those things right now. Subscribers will come. It will be organic. And I wouldn't chase subscribers at this stage, especially you're new. You're getting started. There's a lot to learn. Focus on the basics of packaging your videos the best you can, making the videos the best you can, making sure that you're getting views in the first place.
One thing also is I see that you have a lot of vertical content in here that's like longer. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of vertical content in here that's longer. And what I mean by vertical is videos where, they're like this instead of your most recent video where it's like this. So if you're making longer videos, anything over 3 minutes, I recommend that you make them like this. And then for the vertical videos, just make them, those will go into shorts where they just show up in front of people. So for those, just make sure that they're under 3 minutes long. And then that'll help you be able to get in front of people over on the short side, while you're also, making content for the vertical side. And then you're making it a little bit more appropriate for each experience. So if somebody wants to watch the longer landscape content, then you have that for them. If they want to watch the shorter vertical content, then you have that for them too. So next up here, we have, how can I improve those? Actually, okay. So next up, we have the Deli F Style. They upload 1 time per week or more. The goal is to be a full-time content creator. And the question is, how can I improve my thumbnails and titles to actually get people to click with impressions over 4,000 to 10,000? So let me just pull up your channel real quick and just see what it is that you're doing.
What do you have?
Yeah, right now you're focused a lot on people. Focus more on cars. And also, like, if the whole thing is about cars, then, make sure that you're focusing like strong imagery on the cars. Like, you have cars in all of these, but like I would focus on here, let me remove this real quick.
Are you pulling them up?
Yeah, I'm trying to present, but it just stopped. Hold on.
Not showing?
Oh, it says that it's there. Hold on. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Got it.
Okay. So
I'm going to make a full screen.
So when it comes to your thumbnails, like if the whole thing is for people that are into cars, right? So first, fill out your About Me page, not like, hey, these are the goals I'm trying to reach. Make it more about like, hey, this is what is happening on this channel, so that, for people that are trying to figure out what you're doing, that's going to help them. But more importantly, though, is like in this case, right, you have, if we look at this thumbnail, like you have this car in the background and you have the focus on the kid. So that's fine because kids can grab, or not kids, but like faces can grab attention. But when you are focusing on the car, try to get just like a cool shot of the car, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because, as a car enthusiast, like I used to like really be into custom cars big time. And one of the things that I used to love about custom cars is some of the awesome imagery that you can make with custom cars. Just because, people put, all of this, effort into just making everything look awesome. And I think when you're just uploading like a shot like this, I think it just takes away from what the car actually has to offer. So I would put more emphasis on the car, less emphasis on the person on screen here. And I would also go as far as like, let me drop this into like Photoshop or Canva or Tube Spanner or something that allows me to adjust colors and things like that. And just, add some contrast to these and just kind of make them like really, kind of pop. So go look at some like nice car channels on YouTube. And by nice, I just mean, channels that do well on YouTube around car content, and look at what it is that they're doing, and try to look at the shots that they're getting of the cars and things like that, and then try to replicate that with some of the things that you're doing. Other things is here. Hold on. My son's first car meet. Okay, so this one is about your son, though. This one isn't about cars per se. So I see what you're doing there. I understand now. Here, new mirrors for the Tahoe. Yeah. So things like this, right? This is one of those situations to where understanding who you're making content for can make a difference. So because you asked about thumbnails, right? So we're going to talk about thumbnails and topics. So if you're trying to reach people that are into cars, then in that particular case, making a video about, mirrors when you're trying to, make videos about, cars, it's just a little bit of a disconnect, right? Because you have here, we're going to a car meet, and then here we're talking about mirrors for a very specific car, right? So as a vlogger, as you go, you will develop a fan base over time, and some people, a certain percentage of those people will come in and watch the videos because you're in the thumbnail. That kind of stuff's going to happen. But if you want to reach car enthusiasts at scale, I would focus the topics more around things that are scalable. So here you have new mirrors for the Tahoe. So the problem with this is, in order for this particular video to be relevant to people, they gotta, one, care about a Tahoe. Two, they need to care about the mirror on the Tahoe, right? So because of that, you are making content about something that is fairly limited in nature. Yes, a lot of people drive Tahoes, but are you trying to build a channel for people that drive Tahoes, or are you trying to build a channel for people that are into, cars, right? So another thing here, and the car channels kind of run into this problem when they're talking about things like this, installing a second battery in my Honda, right? So again, this is one to where, for this to matter to people, unless you're super, really entertaining to people, is for this to matter, you have to, care about you here. You have to care about the Honda, and you have to be interested in the process of, installing a second battery in some way. Now, I know some people do this around wrapping cars and stuff like that, but they usually have channels full of content that is wrapping cars, right? So they're getting in front of people that are interested in that. So I think really just kind of dialing in that kind of stuff is going to be the most advantageous for you specifically. Honda Accord, V6 point of view. Yeah, this is another one too, right? Like here, this is okay, Honda Accord V6 point of view. So I see the value that you're offering here. This is what it's like driving on the inside of a Honda Accord. That's fine. But what you got to think about is at scale, is this something that, a lot of people are going to care about? So for the next videos that you publish on the channel, I would just start thinking about, okay, is this content that I'm putting out, is it limiting for me? Or is this giving me the opportunity to, reach a lot of people at scale? Because right now you're approaching 1,000 subscribers, which is great. That means people are into what it is that you're doing. But the thing that's kind of working against you right now is you're putting these kind of limits on yourself that don't need to be there. So the way that you can adjust this, by using the same vehicles and stuff like that, is, talking about, things that people care about at scale. So if you were to talk about the Tahoe, talk about things like, why the Tahoe or why SUVs are better than cars, and those types of things, to where anybody that's interested in cars in any capacity, they can come in and be a part of that conversation because they have strong opinions about that too, or they're just curious to know what somebody else thinks about it or whatever, or they just want to argue or whatever the thing is. But the idea is to think about content that you can make at scale that's going to be relevant to a lot more people, so that you can introduce yourself to them, and then you can grow the fan base. And then once you grow the fan base, that's where you can start, that's where things like this, like my son's first car show and stuff like that, that's where those things are going to start mattering more to people, because they're going to be more familiar with you, and they're going to care more about what it is that, that you're doing with these little nuanced things on the personality side, of the channel. But I would definitely start thinking about, what can I do to make sure that every video that I publish is going to be relevant to as many people as possible.
Any more questions? Or is that it?
Let's see here.
How you doing?
Okay, so we do have a couple more, but
Okay.
but we are it's 11:03 now.
You gonna get them, or you gonna?
So I want to thank everybody for hanging out in the stream. Hopefully you got value out of the stream in some way today. As a reminder, I did publish the app. It is for content creators. If you have an iPhone or a iPad, then in that particular case, you definitely are going to enjoy the app. So I recommend that you check it out. You can find it at newcreator.app, or go to newcreator.com. It's going to send you straight to the Apple Store. So you can check it out, see what it's all about, and see if it's good for you. I'm going to share my screen really quick. And I do want to let you know for the people that using YouTube's community leaderboard function here. Yep. So one of the things that I mentioned at the beginning of the stream is that the leaders here, of course, mods are going to be excluded from this, but the people at the top of the leaderboard are going to get one free year of access to the new Creator app as long as you have an iPhone. Learn Spanish World, Dang, and the Dr. Vibe Show. All of you get 1 year free access to my new Creator app. So all you have to do to claim that is send me a DM on Twitter. And then once you send me a DM on Twitter, I will send you the code. I'll send you a link to the app itself, and I'll send you instructions on how to redeem the code so that you can get the app for free for 1 year. So thank you so much for hanging out. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. If you are a new content creator, I do want to remind you that when it comes to YouTube, this is all learning process, just like anything else that you do in life. So if you are hitting those walls right now and you're thinking to yourself like, oh my God, I can't break past this. Just remember that all of this stuff gets better when you learn how to do, more of it. So focus the most on your skill sets because it's going to help you be able to see things that you might not be able to see right now. And then from there, focus on, just learning how to make, great content, coming up with great topics like we were just talking about with that car channel. Just make sure that you're thinking through like, okay, when I publish this video, who is it going to be relevant to? And is there any way? And this really starts at the video idea stage in terms of like, okay, this is an idea that I have for the video. So since I have this idea, how many people will this idea apply to? And since this is kind of the idea of the video I want to make, how can I do it in a way that it's going to apply to a larger group of people? And those little types of details, can make a big difference on your channel, but you have to learn those things, right? So focus on the skills, focus on making great content for the people that you're trying to reach. Hang in there. You got this. We'll see you next Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Great stream.
Great stream. Yep.
Have a great rest of your weekend. Hit the like button on the way out. If you have a creator friend, send them a link to my new Creator app as well because it's got all kinds of cool stuff in there. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.
Hit the sub button, hit the like button. If you're having fun, comment, type something. If you're laying back, leaning and engage, just take a second to smash the whole page.